night for baseball here in New York City. Yankees against the Twins. Phil Hughes on the mound. Let's take a look at the Twins starting lineup, brought to you by BMW. Up top, Denard Span. Span will lead off, then Matt Tolbert and Joe Mauer. In the middle, Morneau, Jason Kubel, Michael Kadire. And the final third is Joe Crede, Carlos Gomez in center. And Nick Punto will play shortstop. He'll bat ninth. Look at the numbers on Mauer his last 7 games. Denard Span's ready. Phil Hughes is ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. And the first pitch is up and away. 1-0. So we are underway here in Yankee Stadium. Span can run. You want to keep him off the bases. 5 for his last 15. And there's a strike. 1-1.
There's Phil Hughes' numbers on the season. 3 starts, 1-2, an 8.49 ERA, 11.2 innings, 17 hits, and 8 walks, and 8 strikeouts.
Pitches upstairs.
And here's the G pitcher scouting report. 35 days to 23, Paul. He's not even 23 years old. He's still young. Certainly not a guy you want to give up on at this point in his career. Handle the lefty batters a little better. He's been getting worn out by lefties. 9 for 14 since his Detroit start. And just get deeper in the game. You know, he's 7 out of his last 10 starts. He's failed to get through 5 innings. So, you know, those are 2 things. Handle lefty batters a little better and get deeper in the game. Give him some innings.
You know, it's funny, you looked at his numbers and how kind of, you know, escalated they are, but I mean, that's after a...
That one's looped into left field right in front of Johnny Damon. So Denard Span, another left-hander with another hit against Phil Hughes.
And right back at it, Coney, but you were saying after that first start, which he was almost perfect, and then the last 2 games he's really struggled, so the numbers have gone up. That ball just sailing away from a lefty, and you talk about from a left-hander's point of view, a right-hander that ball kind of sails away to the outside corner. Just a perfect piece of hit and slap it to left field.
Here's Matt Tolbert. Now the Twins during batting practice kind of determined that the infield here at the new Yankee Stadium was a little bit slow, and I think that they're going to try bunting all weekend, and they also want to test out Alex Rodriguez, who seems to be a little bit sluggish at third base at this point, coming back from the hip injury. So let's look for the Twins to bunt a lot during this series. And Tolbert shows bunt, takes a strike outside. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. And there's a strike. Does the weather get any better than this, O'Neill?
I was just going to say, though, Michael, you get so excited. You want to be a weatherman. This is like the best time of the day for you when you get the weather report.
Let's hear it. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 67 degrees, 72% humidity, 10 miles per hour wind, forecast cool and cloudy. Need another job. The 0-2. Strike 3. Matt Tolbert is down looking.
See, Hughes goes with that backdoor breaking ball. You kind of, you know what? Wally Bell's a good pitcher's umpire, Paulie, from what I remember. He likes to call strikes. If you get in a groove and you're hitting your spots, you see Tolbert doesn't like it, puts his head down. Good sign for Phil Hughes to be able to spot his breaking ball to the outside corner.
Difference there is Tolbert was talking to himself. If I'm walking away, I got to be talking to Wally Bell right now. Like, that ball never touched the outside corner. It just is out and around, but you know, now I can appreciate when I watch it on these monitors how good you guys are at making that ball end up on the outside corner.
Save that tape. O'Neill just complimented pitchers. Snap throw to first, and Span is back.
Just on the monitor, though. It had nothing to do about being on the field. Coney, I mean, there's leadoff hitters that get on base and you don't have to worry about it. And then there's those leadoff hitters that run that seem to kind of get you out of your rhythm early in the game.
Here's Joe Mauer. A strike. Very simply put, Joe Mauer is one of the best players in baseball. And he missed a lot of spring training in the beginning of the season with a bad bat, but he has come back big time. He is 10 for his last 23. 2-time batting champion as a catcher. And he's the only American League catcher to ever win a batting title. He has a 7-game hitting streak. He's hitting .481 during that time. During the offseason, he had surgery, had a blockage leading to the kidney. And they say that the back surgery or the back injury had nothing to do with that surgery. But he did suffer from really lower back pain during spring training. They shut him down completely. He's too valuable for this franchise. 1-1. Let's see if they can turn two. There's one. Under first. It's a double play. So Phil Hughes gets Joe Mauer to bang into a 4-6-3 double play. Cano to the captain. Back to Teixeira. Twins nothing. And the New York Yankees coming to bat. That he's going to face, brought to you by BMW. The captain, a shortstop, Derek Jeter, big hit in yesterday's 3-2 win over the Blue Jays. He will lead off, batting second and playing left field, Johnny Damon. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll hit third. Good numbers against the Twins. He needs to start hitting. Alex Rodriguez, 3 for 21 since coming up the DL. He's cleaning up, batting fifth and DHing Hideki Matsui. Nick Swisher's in right, batting sixth, batting seventh, playing second base Robinson Cano. Melky Cabrerra in center will bat eighth, and batting ninth and catching Kevin Cash.
Francisco Liriano, 7 starts so far, 2-4, 5.75 ERA. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's got 33 and 40.2 innings, only 16 walks. Here's the G pitcher scouting report. You know, this guy's Santana's replacement. You know, Santana got traded to the Mets back in February of 08. They really were looking for this guy to really step up and be the #1 guy. He's got a power arm, no doubt about it. Low to mid 90s, great movement, good slider, good changeup, and he's Mr. May. He's 5-0 for his career in May with a 2.54 ERA.
Derek Jeter digs in. And Liriano deals. A little bit low. Liriano got off to a terrible start this year. 0-4, 7.06 in his first 4 starts. But since then, 2-0, 4.26. Jeter hits well against the Twins lifetime, 322. He was 4 for 17 on the road trip. That one is ripped to left field, going back Span, and he tracks it down for the first out. Let's take a look at the Minnesota defense, brought to you by our good friends at Home Depot. We've already seen Span at left. Carlos Gomez, who can run with anyone, he's out in center. Michael Gadire in right. In the infield, Creedy, Punto, Tolbert, and Morneau. That's third to first. Maurer, who won the Gold Glove behind the plate last year, is behind there tonight. Liriano is on the mound.
A big part of this organization is defense, and you've got to have speed. And their home ballpark is AstroTurf, where speed is such a weapon. And you know, you look at that first ball right there. Span gets a great jump on it, makes it look like an easy play, but that wasn't a fly ball. I mean, that's a line drive driven over your head that can give a lot of outfitters a lot of trouble.
Well, Johnny Damon has a 10-game hitting streak, and as we mentioned, all 10 games he's had an extra base hit. That ties a Yankees single-season record held by Don Mattingly and Paul O'Neill.
Mattingly were all home runs, though. Mine were probably little Luke doubles. That's when he got on that home run streak, I'm sure.
Well, you got four of them off of me opening day, your debut at the old Yankee Stadium. So I contributed to your cause.
It was the catcher's fault, though, Coney. It wasn't yours. Oh,
now Johnny Damon spoke about, you know, being mentioned in the same breath as those two great players. Let's listen.
I feel honored. I mean, those two guys have they're special players. I grew up watching those two play, and they're both gamers. So proud to be in that company.
Nice words, but Paul, he grew up watching you play.
That's right. He was like 4 when I was playing, right? Boy, Johnny.
3-2. Strike 3, and Wally Bell is a pitcher's umpire for sure. 2 away.
Tell you what, though, Coney, I mean, that's that left-handed breaker. That's not a roll-me-over curveball. That's just a hard slider from a lefty. That ball's off the plate again. That hit the other batter's box. That's kind of hard to handle right there.
Well, we've met Wally Bell. He's a home plate umpire. Marty Foster at first. Chad Fairchild is at second. And John Hirschbeck, the veteran crew chief, is at third. Speaking of pitchers umpires, John Hirschbeck has a somewhat wide, generous strike zone. The 1-0 to Teixeira. Inside. The count 2-0. Looked like Liriano tripped on the mound. Big numbers lifetime against the Twins. 351. Mark was 5 for 22 on the 6-game road trip. On deck is Alex Rodriguez. Strike. It'll be Rodriguez's first at bat since a somewhat tumultuous winter, hip surgery, and he opened the season on the road. It'll be interesting to see what kind of reception he will get. Rip foul. In fact, when they were announcing the lineups before the game, he actually did get a big ovation when his name and picture came on the scoreboard. Alex was by the batting cage, and I was standing off to the side, and I mouthed him, "What do you think of the place?" And it just went, "Wow." So he likes the new Yankee Stadium. The 2-2. 3-2 to Teixeira. And the pitch to Teixeira. Check swing, foul back.
I know we talked about Liriano and some of the arm problems he's been through. I mean, you went through some problems going on. I mean, what's that? It looks like he has his velocity back, but do you have fear of throwing the breaking ball when you've had elbow problems?
Well, a lot of, he's got a good slider, and a lot of people in the Minnesota organization thought that was the problem.
Swing and a miss. As Teixeira goes down on strikes, we'll have to wait till the 2nd inning to see the reception Alex Rodriguez will receive. Pretty good inning for Liriano. He retires the Yankees in order 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. We go to the 2nd. Yes, then a wraparound series Monday night at 7, also on Yes. Then the Birds come to town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. 2 games on My 9, Tuesday and Thursday, and on Yes on Wednesday. 7 o'clock starts. Then the Phillies come into town after that as interleague play begins. Here's Justin Morneau. And there's a strike. David mentioned earlier the struggles that Phil Hughes has had against lefties. He's going to be tested against this Twins team. They stacked the lineup with left-handed batters, good left-handed batters. The 0-1 for Morneau, his 28th birthday, he's spending here in the cleanup spot at Yankee Stadium. Off to another good start, 9 home runs, 29 runs batted. And then Twins come in 1 game over 500 at 18-17. And they were 5-1 on their just completed homestand, taking 2 of 3 from Seattle, sweeping Detroit. Missed outside.
Well, you're right, Michael, about the power that the Twins show. You know, 27 of their home runs this year as a team have come against right-handed pitchers. Only 4 home runs against lefties.
Tried to golf an inside pitch, fouled it back.
They're kind of the old way of baseball. You know, you have a couple superstars with Morneau, and then you kind of fill around with guys and you platoon guys. You play good defense, you play hard, you get a couple good pitchers, and you're in the game day in and day out. And this team right here is a good way if you're just learning the game of baseball to watch. I mean, they do everything right. Ron Gardenhire, the manager, has always been, you know, a stickler on bunting and hit and running, and defensively you've got to catch the ball. And I'm talking about playing in Minnesota on the AstroTurf. You've got to have speed. You've got to have every aspect of the game.
That one is driven deep to right center. There it goes. See ya. Into the Yankee bullpen. Morneau collects a solo home run, and it's 1-0 Twins. A birthday blast for Justin Morneau.
I tell you what, as a left-handed hitter, I mean, if you're going to throw that curveball down and in, that little breaking ball, you've got to get it either in the dirt that you used to do all the time. You cannot leave it in the hitting zone. And that ball ended up right over the middle of the plate, not even in or half. And it gives you too much time as a hitter to see it and figure out what it is and drive it out of here. You see the location of this pitch is probably supposed to be down and in off the plate. It ends up down out over the plate. Just a pitch that's waiting to be hit hard.
Now Kevin Cash will go out and talk with Hughes. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense, which is brought to you by Home Depot. In the outfield, you've got Damon, Cabrerra, and Swisher. That's left to right. In the infield, it's A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira, third and first. Kevin Cash making his second start of the season behind the plate. Phil Hughes is on the mound. You know, with Phil Hughes, he's somewhat of an enigma. His stuff is very good. And when he wins games, he's impressive. But when he loses games, he's so not impressive. And that's proven out by his ERA in wins and losses. 3-0. There's a strike. In wins, David, he has an ERA of 1.22. In losses, 11.53. What does that mean? That he doesn't compensate when he doesn't have good stuff?
It's about making adjustments throughout the course of a game. And, you know, kind of further expand on that point, Michael. You know, the first plate appearance on opposing hitters throughout the lineup, they're going to hit 225 on Phil Hughes in his career. The second time through the lineup, they hit 313. So that shows you that once you get a look at him the first time through the lineup, he's got to make adjustments the second time through. He's got to pitch backwards a little more. He's just got to learn his craft a little better and learn how to mix it up and give these guys different looks. Because as you know, Paulie, on the major league level, there's no one way you can keep getting guys out. You've got to mix it up. You got to throw your curveball when you're behind in the count. You got to pitch backwards sometimes.
Pitch to Kadire is a strike.
I always thought that the pitchers, you know, it had 3 or 4 good pitchers. What made them tough is, you know, if you didn't see their third or fourth pitch till your third at bat, the guys that got you out, you know, your first time up and you've seen everything they have to offer throughout the game, then I'm going to have success against them. But all of a sudden, you know, even if I've got to hit my first or second time up and I'm in a big at bat my third time and you know, he'll flip me a curveball and I haven't seen it, you know, that's a good way to get guys out later in the game.
You know, as we said, Phil Hughes is not even 23 years old yet. He's got a lot of talent. He's a good hard worker, 6'5", 220. He's got a good build. Certainly not the time to give up on a young pitcher. The Yankees would like to see him really establish himself in this rotation. This is a big night for him, a big start. Chen-Ming Wang down in AAA pitched well for Scranton his last start. He's going to get another one. Certainly a lot of eyes on Phil Hughes tonight and a lot of projections on when Chen-Ming Wang will be back as well.
2-1. Also, there's some concern that when things start to go wrong for Phil Hughes, they kind of snowball. And good pitchers kind of stem the tide before it gets out of hand. And Joe Joyce said, you know, you can give up 2 runs in a bad inning, But you can't give up 6. And Phil sometimes gives up 6. Things get out of control. He's got to stop that. The 3-1. There's a strike.
A good example right there. 3-1 fastball count. He comes up with a little cutter. Not the straight fastball that normally you'd see in that count. And, you know, Phil Hughes has really worked hard. He's developed that cutter. It's much better. He's a different pitcher than what we saw last year, but you still got to remember he's only 22.
Runner goes. Breaking ball was called a ball, so the throw to second not needed. So a walk to Cabrerra, and the Twins are threatening. First and second, and nobody out.
Coney, sometimes I wonder, though, when do you consider a guy young? Is it his age at 22 years old, or is it his number of starts? Because all of a sudden, you know, if you're 23, 24 years old, age-wise, you're still young. But if you've got 50, 60 starts under your belt, you should have progressed to that point. So my question is, when does the organization keep a guy young? Is it age-wise or just pitching-wise?
It's a little bit of both. You know, I think a prime example would be the right-handed pitcher Edwin Jackson that was with Tampa Bay last year and got traded to Detroit. All throughout his career, people just kept waiting for him to figure it out. And now that he's about 27 years old, looks like the light bulb's gone on. And even though he had a lot of experience, you know, it took him a little longer to develop.
Hey, stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Pitches outside after a visit from the Yankee pitching coach Dave Island. And by the way, Paul, this is Hughes' 25th career start, so he's just 22, but he's had the equivalent of, I guess, almost a season in the big leagues. A season is 33 starts. The 1-0. Popped up down the right field line, giving Chase Swisher, but he'll run out of room.
Well, he's 6-9 in 24 career starts with a 5.48 ERA. So certainly it's 24 starts. And yeah, Paul, you know, to answer your question in a roundabout way to get back to it. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of both. I still think he's still learning his craft. I think he has a great work ethic. I think he's got a lot of talent. I still think he's learning his craft, and this is hard to do on the big league level.
Count 2-1. Creedy signed as a free agent. They were worried about his back. He was with the White Sox. And the Twins took a shot, and he's done okay. 5 home runs, 15 ribbies. Grounded to Jeter. Oh, nice play. Throw to second one. On to first. It's a double. Oh, no. He did not handle the throw to Scherer. They was there in time, but he could not come up with the scoop. What a play by Jeter.
Ball kind of gets in on Creedy, and it gives G just enough time, but still makes a great play in the hole and an accurate throw to Robbie. Scherer hits off right off the heel of his glove.
It's like Robbie almost threw him a changeup. It looks like Teixeira starts his scoop and is expecting a quicker bounce, and you know he's almost too quick with it. I'm sure if he'll talk to you after the game. Teixeira usually makes that play right there. He's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman, and even though the ball's in the dirt, he expects to make that play.
No error on a double play. You can't assume a double play. First and third, one out. Here's Carlos Gomez.
Coney, that's a big double play there, because now you've got a guy on third base with one out. And I know if you're pitching, you know, you get that double play, you figure you can save an inning without giving up a run. Now you're almost giving up a run right here.
And this is a very tough guy to double up. Carlos Gomez. Could not hold up. One thing that you got to be brutally honest about Teixeira, he's a Gold Glove first baseman. He has not been that great. Maybe he's taking his offensive woes out on the field. He has not come up with scoops a lot this year. He's made some sparkling plays where you go, oh, there it is. But we haven't seen a lot of it. He's a much better first baseman than he's shown. The 0-2 just missed outside. This is in super slow-mo how he could not come up with a scoop. It almost like it came back on him. He was expecting it to go out toward the outfield and came back toward the body. But it was a throw and plenty of time to get Creedy. One-two. Outside.
Big situation here, Coney. I mean, you get off, you need a strikeout here to try to save that run. You're 0-2. All of a sudden, you battled back to 2-2. You know, and as a pitcher, you still have to go for that strikeout to try to keep that ball, you know, that guy on third.
2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. That's a big strikeout for Hughes as Gomez is down looking.
I don't think it's quite where he wants it. You see Cash setting up outside. He's got to reach all the way over the inside corner, but Wally Bell tracks it. Looks like maybe around the plate, gets that front corner. Got a lot of plate there, a lot more than you think. You can see Gomez. This is what we call a front door breaking ball, even though it wasn't by design. As you see, Cash had to reach a lot. And to Wally Bell's credit, he read the pitch, stays with it, and makes a good call right there. We usually don't get those calls when the catcher's got to move that glove.
Here's Nick Punto. Pitch outside. So Morneau started the inning with a home run. A walk to Kubel, a walk to Kadire, then Creedy hit one to Jeter. They get the force at second. A strikeout to Gomez looking. And Hughes looking to get Punto to escape giving up just one run on the homer. 1-1.
The one thing Phil Hughes has been very good at throughout his career is with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Opposing hitters are only hitting 192 off of him throughout his career, 10 for 52. So we've been talking about Phil Hughes and his struggles as of late. He's been very good in these situations.
It's funny, you're almost thinking, you know, go back and look at some film and see if he pitches different. And you see a lot of breaking balls. He looked very comfortable trying to get big outs with the breaking ball.
Two-one. Missed inside. One pitch away from loading the bases for the leadoff batter, Denard Span.
Take another look. See Cash setting up inside. Got a little run on it. You see Wally Bell's right there. He sets up on the inner half too, and he got a good look at it.
Grounded to Teixeira. He steps on the bag, and that's going to do it. All things considered, not a terrible inning for Phil Hughes. 1 run on a home run by Morneau. Due up, Alex Rodriguez. What kind of reception will he receive? We'll listen. Well, Alex gets a nice hand here at Yankee Stadium. Did not hear any boos. Wasn't a standing ovation, but it was a warm greeting as Alex will make his first stadium at bat. And there's a strike to Rodriguez. Rodriguez was 3 for 21 on the road trip, his first 6 games after hip surgery, where he missed the first 28 games of the year. And the 0-1. inside 1-1. Well, this is going to be Alex's respite, because on the road he's going to be hammered quite a bit by the fans. And the New York fans could give him a little bit of a sanctuary. It's going to be tough, though, because he's won 2 MVPs here, and they've been tough with him as well. And now on top of everything that happened over the winter, the admitting using the steroids and the hip surgery and stuff like that, we'll see how the reception is as the year builds on. Foul back.
It's funny, Coney, as you look back, I mean, if you got booed on the road, it was almost like a pat on the back that, you know, you did something. You look what Alex Rodriguez has done since he's been here, and it's not too many guys put up numbers like he has, and we've talked about it over and over. But when you get booed at home, you hear it as a player. I don't care if it's one night or if it's 1 year or whatever, but when you get booed by your home fans, it's just a different feeling.
And the 2-2. Outside 3-2. Alex with 554 home runs. He's 9 behind Reggie Jackson. Hit his 500th home run across the street at the old Yankee Stadium. 3-2. And a walk to Alex Rodriguez. So we heard the reception that he got. Kim Jones asked him before the game, what did he expect?
Well, I'll be very excited. I mean, I hope I get some cheers, and I hope they continue not only tonight but for the rest of the year.
So far, so good for Alex, as he did get cheers as he was announced. And now he's on first base with the walk, Yankees first base runner. And here is Hideki Matsui. Matsui with the game-winning home run yesterday in Toronto. Broke a 2-2 tie. Good numbers against the Twins lifetime. Pitch outside. Paul, this is the type of lefty that would give lefty batters trouble?
Yeah, and I was just thinking it's probably the type of lefty why he doesn't have pinpoint control either, is he just slings the ball, you know, a lot of movement, but which makes it, you know, makes him tough to hit, but it also, Coney, I would think, makes it pretty tough to have great control.
And if he's going to hit that part of the plate, Matsui's going to have trouble because his first move is always toward first base.
It's kind of an interesting choice by Joe Girardi to Matsui behind A-Rod here, a lefty on lefty with Liriano's a strikeout type pitcher, and you can see that swing kind of pulling out, good tight slider.
Lefties hit 219 against him, righties 258. One. Slow roller towards second. There's one. No return throw, so they get the force on A-Rod. This moment in Yankees history sponsored by Mercedes. May 15th, 1941, Joe DiMaggio began his 56-game hitting streak with a single off Edgar Smith of the White Sox. Your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. You realize how amazing that record is when Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals just had a 30-game hitting streak, and he wasn't close. It wasn't even close. And I mean, 30 games is an impressive hitting streak. And he was still 26 away from tying.
You heard Brandon Phillips last night. They said somebody's going to break that record. Brandon Phillips is the second baseman of the Reds. Yeah, somebody's going to break it. It was a big story in Cincinnati before I left.
What was his thinking?
This is possible, and he's got like an 11-game hitting streak going now, so I guess he's on his way. But to me, that's an unbelievable thing. Just the consistency day in and day out to do that.
Well, if you look at his last game, he got walked twice, so he really had 2 chances to keep the streak going. That's really the problem, as you know, Paulie. I would pitch to the guy, but if the game's on the line and you got a hot hitter, take first base. You know, I'm not going to give in to him. And that's what happened with Zimmerman. He's in a tight game, and he gets walked twice, and he only had 2 at-bats to extend that streak, and that's what you run into, and that's why it's probably one of the hardest records to break in all of sports, I still believe.
Boy, I'm really surprised that Phillips would say that, because people look at Cal Ripken's record and DiMaggio's record as the 2 ones that will not be approached. I don't think anybody will go near Ripken's because nobody is allowed to play every single game anymore.
And also Randy Johnson is coming up on 300 wins. He might be the last 300-game winner that we see for a long time, maybe ever. And certainly in today's game that relies on bullpen so heavily and starting pitchers not being able to get as deep into games.
3-0 to Swisher. And Swisher walks. So he walks. Swisher comes into the game 3 for his last 32. And that's going to bring up Robinson Cano. Ironically enough, the only Yankee that has played in every single game this year. Cano 7 for 24 on the road trip. Yankees were 4-2 on the road trip, taking both series against the Orioles and the Blue Jays. And there's a strike. And taking 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays was significant because that's the first home series that the Blue Jays have lost. CC Sabathia, second straight good start, won last night. And there's CC.
Tony, you said that the Yankees are very capable of, so Robbie fouled that off, very capable of putting together a long string of wins. And the way it starts is your number 1 guy, your number 2 guy, when they get into a rhythm and start giving you, just almost guaranteed wins out there. And that's what Sabathia's been the last couple times out. So easy, he's tired. You see that?
Well, that's a starting pitcher the day after you pitch right there, Paul. You catch me on the bench, my mouth would be open. That's what I call a goon. You get a good goon going with your mouth open. Kind of just daydreaming on the bench.
Amazing. You have absolutely no chance of entering this game for anything. Those nights, those candy bins back in the locker room took a beating too. You just, you kind of pace, walk around. You got to grab a handful of candy every time through, right, Coney?
Absolutely. Keep a little coffee to keep you up.
I'm almost afraid to ask you this, Dave, because I never know what you're going to say. Why do you call it a goon?
Well, it's just another term for a daydream. A lot of time you catch those starting pitchers the day after they pitch and they're on the bench and their mouth's open. Just kind of daydreaming, staring off into space or yawning. And every now and then they go up and slap somebody on the head. Hey, bust out of that goon. You got a good goon going.
That one is laced into left field. Span right there for the second out. Usually we get a 3.5, 345 game here. O'Neill's into a goon.
I got a big league goon.
There's Melky Cabrerra on the road trip, 6 for 20. He's putting together a nice season. Close to a 400 on base percentage, 326 average.
I'll have to work with Johnny Moore, and our director down there to catch you. I have a little goon meter going this year. Might go on the pitcher sitting on the bench.
Swing and a miss.
You look back at Melky, and it was, he and Gardner really fought hard with that center field job. And you come into opening day, it's always nice to win that starting job. And they kind of said that he had lost the job. But I think that was just enough incentive for him to, when he got his chance, and he's done nothing but look back and play well.
Gardner had a pretty big series in Toronto. Helped the Yankees win 2 out of 3. Had a great throw from center field.
You're going to need Gardner, Paul. If you remember in '98, we had a guy, Homer Bush, that came off the bench with speed.
A good luck charm. Seemed like every time he played, we won.
Here's that throw we're talking about from Gardner. And that one is popped up off the bat of Melky. Tolbert is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 2. It's 1-0 Twins. At the new house, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, Twins lead 1-0. Top of the order for the Twins against Phil Hughes. And there's a bunt, and it's a foul ball. On the Modell's scoreboard, 1-0 Twins. And Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Well, we told you the Twins are going to bunt in this series, so that's their first attempt right there. And that moves Alex Rodriguez a bit more on the grass at third. The 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1.
It's a good idea by Span there. Phil Hughes coming off a 31-pitch inning in the top of the second. Try to get him right back in the stretch. Conversely, if you're Phil Hughes here, you want to get this first hitter out. You want to try to get in the dugout as quickly as possible.
Almost hit Span. Skipped rope to get out of the way.
How do you hold that one, Tony? Done?
That is a lawn dart right there, no doubt about it. You just hold on to it too. That's like I talk about that like golf, Paulie. That's like a snap hook in the woods. You know, your hands get way ahead of your body, and you just, off the first tee, and you just snap it right in the woods.
See, 45 pitches, 23 strikes, 22 balls, so terrible strike to ball ratio. And the count now 3-1. Matt Tolbert's on deck.
Well, that was probably a changeup. You know, Phil Hughes has been working on his changeup. He hasn't been able to use it successfully so far this year.
And he walks Span. Third walk.
Excuse me, Michael. Certainly not the start to the inning that you wanted.
Now there's a star. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's a huge baseball fan. Big Brooklyn Dodger fan growing up.
Enjoying the new leg room at the new stadium.
And there's Kate Hudson. Movie stars are out today. She's such a big star, Paul, they named a river after her here.
That's impressive. It took me a while. I'm not from there. It took me a while to process
River,
that.
yeah. Is he saying something east?
No, it's like the Hudson of Ohio.
Pitch to Tolbert is low, 1-0.
We talked earlier about Ron Gardner, how they like to play the game right. I mean, a big reason Tolbert here right now is because Casilla, their starting second baseman, was sent out of here. I mean, he had a couple games where just things didn't go well. He wasn't hustling, and see you later. Go to the minor leagues. We'll bring somebody else up.
They get the lead runner there. That's all they get. So good play by Cano to get the lead runner of the speed. And Denard Span's out on the 4-6. Well, you're right about that, Paul. They're very strict about how they play the game, and that dates back to Tom Kelly when he won championships in '87 and '91. They're not going to have the big payroll in baseball. They're going to have to squeeze every little bit out of every team and team member that they have. And if you don't play the Twins' way, you don't play. That's how it was with Tom Kelly. That's how it is with Ron Gardner. Here's Joe Mauer. Tough team to go pitch against, David, because they're so fundamentally sound.
Yeah, they're especially tough at home. You know, obviously they're going to get a new ballpark next year, which is a big move for their organization and their franchise. They're really looking forward to it, but they've really had a home field advantage in the Metrodome for all those years. And tailor-made for that ballpark. Beat it on the ground, good speed.
Nice block there by Cash.
They're well positioned, you know, with some young stars, you know, Morneau obviously and Mauer, to move into a new ballpark in Minnesota. They've been struggling for years to try to get a new stadium up there.
And the other poster child they have is Torrey Hunter, and they didn't keep him. They let him go to Anaheim and for Los Angeles, the Angels. So, you know, they've decided on what kids are going to keep to try to build this organization around, and then you're looking at one of them right here.
Well, in order for the Twins to succeed, they have to draft well, they have to develop, and they have to bring those players up and have them contribute. And Terry Ryan, longtime GM now, Bill Smith, they do a very good job. They maximize their draft picks, and a lot of the players on this team homegrown, and they try to make trades, smart trades.
Tony, I just got a note here as you look at the scouting report here. The offensive difference, I mean, they have led the whole American League when Mauer's been back in the lineup. Lucky 7 out of the 12 games he's been back, he's had multiple hits games. And I mean, he's just all-around athlete. He was a tremendous quarterback in high school, just an all-around good athlete that ended up playing baseball. Tony, I'm looking at a note here, career at the Metrodome 4-2. How could you only have a 4-2? That's only 6 decisions.
A lot of no decisions, I think.
Ground ball to second. There's one. On to first. Not in time. David, if my memory serves me correctly, that was your first start as a Yankee. And the thing that I remember is that you got there very close to game time. And Buck Showalter was all nervous, and you just were talking to the media. He couldn't believe what was happening because that wasn't Buck's way.
Buck was going nuts. He was like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain watching me. I was doing all the media interviews about 6 o'clock, Wally. Haven't even met my catcher yet. Haven't even got a uniform.
Well, you were calling the game anyway. He wasn't, right?
Morneau with a high fly ball to left field. Damon's there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. Let's go to the bottom of the third inning at the stadium. 1-0 Twins. Cross-brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Go to the bottom of the third here at Yankee Stadium, and the Twins lead 1-0 on the Modell's scoreboard. And Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. Kevin Cash will lead off. Got a big-time guest here in the booth. Kind of got the old gang together, building the '98 Yankee team all over again here on the Yes Network as Tino Martinez joins us. What's up, Tino?
Not much. I was just down here today watching batting practice and listening to you guys up here, so I thought I'd come join you for a half minute.
Pitch to Kevin Cash is upstairs.
Better on a Friday night. I mean, we've seen Jabbar in the stands, Kate Hudson, Tino, Richard Gere was up here early, and now we got Tino on the air.
Yeah, I don't think I belong in that company, but it's nice to be here with you guys.
This is heat on a Friday night in the Bronx, huh?
Well, you definitely don't belong in the Kate Hudson category. I'm not that excited to see you. I saw O'Neill get in the elevator at like 5:30. He's heading down. I came up and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I just saw Tino." That one's under the glove of Creedy, and it rolls down the left field line. Kevin Cash going for 2. He'll get there and lead off double for the Yankee catcher.
Liriano trying to come with the slider, leaves it on the inner third. Cash gets out in front of it, gets down the line. Keeps that ball fair, right under the glove.
Tina, remember we used to hit those balls, and it seemed like it took a half an hour to see if it was going to get by that infielder or not?
Absolutely. You know how mad you get when the guy picks it, even way down the line?
No.
And you know you and I aren't beating that out, so that's the hard part.
Yeah, if it didn't hit the outfield grass, we were going to the dugout.
We're pulling out our hairs by then.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek lined out to left field in the first inning. Liriano works out of the stretch, checks the runner at second, and deals. Jeter thought about a push bunt, takes a pitch outside. No, they called it a strike. Now, Tino, you were in uniform. Obviously, you're a special assistant to the Yankee GM, Brian Cashman. Are you here for any specific purpose, to work on anything?
I'm not really. Cash just asked me to come down for a couple of days and just be around the team and you know, just make sure everybody's doing well and they got a positive attitude and let them know they're going to be fine. So I talked to Cher a little bit today, Robinson Cano, just about relaxing a little bit and you know, letting the game come to you instead of, you know, like I used to do, overdoing it a little bit.
Now, you kind of went through the same thing that Teixeira went through in 96, man. They hated your guts. I mean, the first month, Donnie Baseball, they kept chanting, and then you had that big grand slam in Baltimore and turned things around. Do you see the same things happening to Teixeira?
I think so, a little bit. I think he's handling a lot better than I have. You know, when I came in, obviously it was a tough situation following Donnie. And you start to press a little bit. As soon as your average goes down, you're hitting 190, 200 in the middle of May. You really start to press, and you want to do well for the fans, for your teammates. And it's such a big struggle. But I told him just to relax, you know, just go out there and have some good at-bats, to be aggressive and stop being so passive. His swing is great. His approach is great. I just think he's trying to be a little bit too fine.
Runner on second base, nobody out. That's Kevin Cash. Yankees trailing by 1.
In the middle of that sentence, Tino, you said, I just told you, and I appreciate it so much, because you said, I just told him to go out, and I thought you were going to say have fun. I'm like, how can you have fun when you're not doing what you want? You look up at the scoreboard, and you're hitting like 205 or whatever he's hitting. You can't have fun as a major league player when you're not doing the things you want to do.
No, you can't have fun. And the thing is, as long as your team's winning, you're okay. You can battle through it. Well, every time you lose a game, you kind of take it personal because you're not hitting. And you think, you know, if I would have hit today, or if I had my swing going, the game could have been different. And you really get upset about that.
You know, Coney used to say that stuff, too. You know, if O'Neill Martinez would hit, I'd have more wins.
But you do take it personal.
So Jeter walks. Do you sense that he's a little tight, or you think he's handling it okay, Teixeira?
I think he's handling it great. You know, I just told him, you know, basically I watch him on TV. His swing is great. But I just think you get a little bit, you try to get the perfect pitch to hit instead of just being aggressive and having good at bats and trying to drive the ball. It's just a natural thing when you're struggling, especially here in New York where you want to do so well.
They just put your mug on the big scoreboard in center.
I'll tell you what, it looks like a P next to yours up there, you see? Sorry, Mike.
Oh, please. No, that's like you letting the hanging breaking ball go by. It doesn't look that big. See what I go through, Tino? You see?
I can't talk. My head's not much smaller.
So what do you think of this ballpark?
I love it. Obviously, it's a beautiful ballpark. It's got everything you could possibly want in here. I think for the fans, they're so comfortable in the stands. The seats are great, whatever. And I like it a lot. I think it's going to take a lot of getting used to for the fans and the players to really, you know, start feeling it's their ballpark, and winning championships obviously is what's going to start helping that out.
You know, that's the thing. Is there a home field advantage now? I think people used to hate to come to Yankee Stadium, where, you know, if you're with the Minnesota Twins now, you're looking for it's a new ballpark. There's no fear of coming in here because you want to experience what's going on here.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Yankees have to turn that. Their wins and really dominating at home is going to help turn it into a home field advantage. But like you said, Paul, they got a great clubhouse. They're very comfortable here. A beautiful place to play, and you know they're just as excited to come in here as the Yankees are playing here.
Here's Johnny Damon. Fouled off the foot of Damon. Now, Johnny Damon has a 10-game hitting streak, and each of the games he's had an extra base hit. Only 2 other Yankees have ever done that, Tino. Paul O'Neill and Don Mattingly. And Johnny Damon said, and we have it on tapes if you don't believe us, that he grew up watching Paul O'Neill.
Isn't that something? Huh?
Johnny's like 36 years old. He grew up watching Paul O'Neill.
I did hear that.
Tino, Michael can't wait to fire back up on him. As soon as Paulie gets on his helmet, you know, it's all over.
We're only in the 3rd inning, too.
Rip foul and a broken bat. Jeter has to skip rope to get out of the way. No, I always ask O'Neill and David this. Let me ask you. It doesn't seem like that long ago that you guys were playing. Do you ever stop missing playing?
I do miss playing. You know, I miss it. I don't miss the travel so much. You know, getting on that airplane, the 162 game schedule, the grind, the day in day out grind. I don't miss that, but I do miss, you know, actually competing out there and playing the game. You know, especially at home here in Yankee Stadium.
If you had to play one game, could you do it right now without even any kind of spring training?
One game?
One game and be respected at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably put a ground out and put the ball in play, I think. I don't think I could drive the ball or not even come close to hitting a home run. No chance.
How about you, O'Neill?
I'm an 0 for 4. I'll tell you that right now.
But you might put it in play.
I got a hit in the old timers game. Does that count?
How about you, David? Could you pitch one game if you had to?
I already did that with the Mets back in 03. I got one win. That was it.
It's 1-0 Twins. Yankees threatening here in the bottom of the third. First and second, nobody out. A 2-2 count on Johnny Damon. Damon struck out looking against Liriano in the first. And the pitch. Strike 3. Damon down looking again, and he doesn't like it. And he's going to tell Wally Bell as much.
Uh-oh, don't touch that. That's gone.
And he's thrown out.
I've been through that one.
I can't blame Johnny right there. You know, I think the first at bat we all saw that ball was way off the plate to the outside, and now he rings them up one way inside. So that is pretty frustrating, especially with men on base in a clutch situation.
And that from the overhead will show. I mean, the first pitcher's in the other batter's box, but anytime as a player you show them where that ball is. See, he's been on the outside batter's box and the inside. That's a large plate.
And you can see he's saying that's twice because he didn't like the call in the first either.
Yeah, Joe Girardi didn't have time to get out there. You can see he's trying to get there and save him, but it's just too late. Johnny's gone.
Well, here's Mark Teixeira, who Tino was talking about. Mark struck out in the first inning. And that's a big loss for the Yankees because Johnny Damon has really helped carry this team offensively when other people have been struggling. Now, Tino, from what I took from what you said, you think he's taking too many pitches, being too selective up there?
I think he's just trying to get the perfect pitch to hit every at bat, as opposed to just like seeing it and attacking it wherever it is. And when you do that, you tend to just miss the ball by a hair. You pop up, you roll over by a hair, and you're just not as aggressive as you are as when you're going well.
The 2-0.
I always felt that, you know, when you were struggling, these were the kind of at-bats that got you away from it because your concentration goes up so much with men in scoring position that, you know, you get away from all the mechanical things of hitting and you just realize, you know, this is a game. I need to drive this run in. So sometimes these kind of at-bats can help you.
Let's hit the green light to Teixeira. Takes it right down the middle, 3-1.
Yeah, back to Johnny Damon. I mean, you've got to feel for it. I mean, because as a hitter, you go up there, and we saw his reaction after the first at bat. He was almost laughing. And then you go back, and all of a sudden you realize, you know, the umpire's completely taking you out of the game and taking the bat out of your hand in 2 at-bats. I mean, that's half the game as a hitter.
3-1. And a walk. So the bases are now loaded for Alex Rodriguez. You want drama? You got drama right here. Well, Alex in the second inning, his first at bat, he walked. And if he wants to be embraced by this Yankee crowd, a big base hit would do it here. He has 17 grand slams in his career, a .347 batting average with the bases loaded. Kevin Cash is at third, Derek Jeter is at second, and Mark Teixeira is at first. Yankees are down by 1. How tough is it for Alex? It's only like his 11th game, Tino, 6 in the big leagues.
Yeah, if it was me, it'd be tough. Even though he's had some minor league games under his belt, you know, you need a few at-bats to really get comfortable. But, you know, he's one of those guys that can make something big happen right here, and hopefully so.
And the pitch. Off-speed pitch as Alex was out in front.
And you see that swing right there. I mean, he's off balance. He's trying to pull, and that's just from being uncomfortable. You know, you're just trying to do too much, and You know, Alex Rodriguez, the power he has, especially in this new ballpark to right center field, I mean, you don't have to try to pull the ball to hit home runs, and that's why he's been so successful over his career.
Alex, 17 grand slams. Tino Martinez had 11 in his career. And that's not counting the one against the Padres in the World Series here at Yankee Stadium, well across the street.
Yeah, that was obviously a great moment for myself, especially in the postseason, the World Series, and in Yankee Stadium. So that was something I'll never forget.
Slider there that Alex swings over, and the count quickly 0-2.
A great moment for me too, Tino, because I had popped out like 2 hitters before you. That way to pick me up, see?
Mark Langston won't forget it either.
I wish he had Wally Bell back there, because it would have been strike.
Yeah, was that 2-2 pitch a strike, Tino?
You know what? It was close. I thought it was down.
Close.
I thought it was down a little bit.
There it is, memory lane, Tino.
Yeah. Wow. I thought it was down, and I worked 1 year at ESPN when I retired. And when I got there was one girl who worked there who happened to be the ball girl for the San Diego Padres that year. And she tells me, hey, that 2-2 pitch was a strike. And I honestly hadn't seen that at bat in I hadn't seen it since I hit the grand slam besides the highlights.
The 1-2, and Alex goes down swinging.
So I tell her, look it up, pull it out on tape, and we'll see if it'll strike 3 or not. So this is the first time I'd seen it since that World Series.
Break this one down, Tino. What's he throwing there?
That's like a little cutter down and in, a little slider there. And you can see Alex just trying to really lift that sac fly, just really pull off the ball and try to get it to the outfield. And he basically just got himself out right there. But that's like Paul said earlier. He's just uncomfortable. He's not getting a good pitch to drive out there, and that'll come, though.
All right, so they broke at that pitch. What'd you think when you saw it?
And it was unbelievably closer than I thought.
Everything looks better on TV, though, Tino. It was low.
He still pulled it up a little bit, but it was a lot closer than I thought. I was like, wow, you're right. It was close.
Now, the addendum to that story that nobody knows, Tino got that girl fired the next day.
No, but I honestly I hadn't seen that pull it back. Besides highlights here and there, at Yankee Stadium or wherever. But I've never watched a game or have you guys? You ever watched one of those World Series games? Or I haven't seen any of my bats or anything.
O'Neill has him on a constant loop on the big screen in the den. The 1-0. 1-1.
I've seen all of our Yankeeographies a dozen times, Dana.
We went through that already, Coney. Early in the year, right? Now, Coney, if you're pitching here, all of a sudden you have bases loaded, you're in all kinds of trouble. You get a couple huge outs, and it's almost you're reaching to get out of that inning now without giving up anything, and you can't relax. I know as a hitter with 2 outs now, you got to try to do anything you can to try to get a run in here.
Tap slowly and goes to second. The throw to first. In time. Got it. And Liriano works out of trouble. And Mick Kelleher arguing with Marty Foster. He thought that Matsui was safe. Looks like they might have got him. Tino, thanks for dropping by. Great to see you.
Thank you guys for having me. I enjoyed it.
We go to the 4th. 1-0 Twins. check. I'm sorry, it's the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Justin Morneau has 143 home runs in his career. Which Canadian-born player has the most home runs? And we'll find that out. We'll also find out tomorrow's starting pitchers as we move along as well. Phil Hughes here starting the top of the fourth inning. It's 1-0 Twins. And there's a strike.
Michael, you think we could talk Flip into going with a four-man booth?
Give him a call. He's watching.
Why not? That's pretty good. Grantino's got a future up here, I think. Paulie, we could take some innings off. You could go bust a goon right up in the back up here.
Easily.
Take some time off.
Come back refreshed for the 7th. Michael, you could probably get another show up here or something. Take a little break.
Now, did you ever see the movie Naked Gun? Where they were broadcasting with 8 guys in the booth, and one of them was Dr. Joyce Brothers? We can do that.
The only thing I remember about that was the umpire like moonwalking when he struck you out. It even irritated me in the movie. You know that?
Now we got a couple of changes. Melky Cabrerra takes over in left field. So he moves from center to left, and the new center fielder is Brett Gardner. Now, obviously, with Johnny Damon thrown out, his 10-game hitting streak is over. He can't extend that. So that's another offshoot, and the Yankees lose a very big bat in this game. So Gardner will bat second. Jason Kubel fouls it away.
Coney, you and I down the road are going to say, yeah, we grew up in the booth watching guys like Johnny Damon and stuff. You know that?
I promised you, and I never lie, tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios, this is big. Nick Blackburn goes for the Twins and Jabba Chamberlain for the Yankees. Our coverage is going to begin at noon right here on Yes. And the pitch is high. There's Jabba. Won his last game against the Orioles. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Jason Kubel. Boy, has he been red hot of late. He's now 32 for his last 82. That's closing in on 390.
He handles right-handed pitchers very well. See, Hughes wanting to get that first out of the inning. You know, he's starting to right himself and just misses. Trying to go down and away, got it up and out over the outer third. Tries to finish with a fastball away, and that ball just doesn't quite get where he wants to, and Kubel just delivers it right back up the middle.
Phil Hughes with 62 pitches. He has struggled, but allowed just 1 run, the home run by Justin Morneau, and the pitch to Cabrerra is inside 1-0.
Tony, you see a lot of those pitches that the left-handers are handling, and they look like there's good movement on them, but they're kind of sailing. They don't have sink to them. We've seen his cutter early in the game, but those balls that sail away from lefties, you know, they got to sink or they got to do something to stay away from the barrel.
That one's driven out to right center field, slicing away from Gardner. On the run, he can't get there. Bounces into the Yankee bullpen for a double for Cabrerra. So Kubel will stop at third.
Again, you look at a fastball out over the plate, supposed to be, and it kind of sails back in. And again, it ends up over the middle of the plate. Right center field is like a gold mine here in New Yankee Stadium. Gardner got a good jump on the ball. Couldn't run it down. Cabrerra, another one of those guys that are just, you know, tough at bats. And then, Coney, these kind of guys used to have to drive you crazy. Guys that, you know, that would battle you time and time again.
Here's Joe Creedy, fouled away. Yankees have the infield back, so they'll give up the run. They don't want to bring the infield in and give up 2 with a ground ball that snakes through. Mentioned the Twins took a chance on Creedy. Bad bat. Signed him to a free agent contract. Had a walk-off grand slam this week. Inside. Twins are 0 for 3 tonight with runners in scoring position.
See, Creedy, all 5 of those home runs have come against right-handed pitchers. Even though he's hitting .348 against lefties and only .203 against righties. as you mentioned, Michael, a grand slam. His power has come against right-handed pitchers this year.
1-1. Strike. 1-2.
Spot a four-seamer right there on the inside corner. Creedy thinks it's a little bit in. You see his reaction.
This is when you're going to have trouble, when you see both sides shaking their heads. It hasn't been one side. It hasn't just been the Yankees, but both sides are questioning pitches.
Popped up. Cano calls off to Cabrerra. He'll make the catch. Kubel has to stay put at third. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees.
Again, Phil Hughes has put himself in a position where he could have given up a lot of runs, and he keeps working out of it. Again, he's in a tough situation here. You know, if you can just give up one or get out of this thing, then you continue to keep your team in the game.
There's Carlos Gomez. Pitch inside. Gomez was really the main component coming from the Mets in the Johan Santana deal. And he's moved around this lineup. Leadoff, 9th, today he's 8th. Last year he had 30 bunt singles. That's what speed does for you. The 1-0. Breaking ball is inside.
And here's a guy, if you lined up every major league player on a track and ran him, he'd probably be in the top 5 of baseball. I mean, he can do a lot of things with his speed, Michael, like you said.
How many bunt hits did you have?
You can count them on one hand, I'm sure. Not too many.
Drags? Drag bunts?
Yeah.
Time right now for the Toyota text poll. And tonight's question is, who is the Twins' most potent weapon? You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. We have 3 choices for you. Number 1, Joe Mauer. Number 2, Justin Morneau. Number 3, Joe Nathan. I think I'll take Mauer.
They're good. You know, really underrated Joe Nathan's been a quality closer for a lot of years for Minnesota after coming over from San Francisco years ago.
How did he get over from Frisco? The story behind
A.J.
that,
Krasinski trade.
Krasinski.
It was a great trade for the Twins. That's how they got Liriano, too.
That's right. Liriano originally was signed as a free agent by the Giants.
Bill O'Reilly, Donald Trump. It doesn't end the amount of stars here to see the Twins.
My nemesis right there. He beat me in golf over the winter.
Bill O'Reilly or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. He could play some golf.
The 2-1. Inside. Did he beat you badly, soundly?
Michael, it doesn't matter. If you lose by 10 or you lose by 1, you lost.
Beautifully said.
He won the club championship down there in his own course.
Well, it's his course, of course. Right. 3-1. And Carlos Gomez walks, and that's going to load the bases. And Phil Hughes really is laboring through these innings, and he's only given up that 1 run on the home run to Morneau. And Joe Girardi out to talk with Phil Hughes, and there's some movement in the Yankee bullpen. That's a shot right there of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. At Mohegan Sun, you'll find a million different ways to play with something for everyone. Visit MoheganSun.com for more information. If you look out that window there, you can see that the Yankee bullpen is getting busy. So this was a Girardi visit and not a Dave Island visit. And Alfredo Aceves will begin to throw. Here's Nick Punto. Yankees in at the corners. They're back at short and second, double play depth. There's a strike. BaseballReference.com, Paul, says that you had one career bunt base hit.
I remember one. Shea Stadium, when I was with the Red, off Doc Gooden. It's back when Doc was Doc, too, so you had to bunt to get on, you know. And I remember the next day he was running sprints in the outfield when you're still kind of embarrassed that you bunted on him. And what he said to me, Coney? He said, next time I might have to take a leg. Which means he's going to drill you in that leg so you can't run anyway. I said, all right, Doc, don't worry about it.
Laced into left field, coming on is Melky. He makes the catch. Tagging is Kubel. The throw is offline. It's a sac fly for Punto. Yankees think he left early. They throw to third. And the home plate umpire, Wally Bell, said no, he did not leave early. So it's 2-0 Twins.
The ball was hit hard, and you think Melky's, as good as he throws, is going to have a good opportunity to throw out. The problem is, it's a tough play, and he kind of loses his balance going towards it. And then he has to shift it and get it going back where he just kind of threw it off guard. But it's, you know, that's a tough play to keep your weight behind it. You're going towards the line, and you want to throw the ball towards home plate. Too much going on there right at the end for Melky.
Well, looks like he left on time. So good call by Wally Bell. Well, he might be getting out of these jams, and what he's doing, he's robbing himself of the 6th and 7th inning because he's at 77 pitches so far, and we're in the 4th. Pitch to Span is a strike.
Well, I was going to say, this is where you got to guard against a letdown, as you see Denard Span's numbers on the year, and he's 1 for 1 tonight. But, you know, you get the bases loaded, you walk them loaded, you give up the sac fly, you don't have a letdown here. You know, you've only given up 1 run in this inning. You still got your team in the game. Jumped up 0-1 here. This is a big at-bat for Phil Hughes in this game.
Outside, 1-1.
He's about 1 hit from being knocked out of this game, much less, you know, and then also 1 out from getting out of this inning and only minimal damage. So really a swing spot in the game, as you see the totals right there. 41 strikes, 38 balls, 79 pitches total.
1-1. Way outside.
And that's the pitch right there, Paulie. He hasn't been able to negotiate tonight. And that's a big pitch for Phil Hughes, is that knuckle curveball to be able to throw for strikes, and he hasn't been able to consistently get it in the strike zone tonight.
The 2-1. There's a strike. Now 1 strike away from working out of further trouble. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Twins up by 2.
But we talked earlier in the game, it seems like he likes to get big outs with that curveball or that slider. So if it goes to what pattern he's been going, you're going to see a breaking ball here.
And the 2-2. High fly ball, right field. Swisher is there and puts it away for the final out. All things considered, not a terrible inning for Phil Hughes. Twins score 1 on 2 hits, and they leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Minnesota. Justin Morneau has 143 home runs in his career. Which Canadian-born player has the most home runs?
I think I know this.
All right, tell me.
I'm going to say Larry Walker.
Let's see if Paul is right for the second time this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Phenomenal. I think he was motivated by Tino, David.
What a night.
Tino picked us up here, didn't he?
He really did. Here's Nick Swisher against Francisco Liriano. Hit sharply and inside third, down the left field line. Swisher rounds first. He's going to second. The throw from Span is in time. Got him. Good throw by Denard Span and a good tag by Tolbert.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about it earlier about speed and defense, and I'm telling you what, this was a no-doubt double. This ball right down the line. Span plays a ricochet off the wall, but he reverses it. He doesn't turn his body around, completely reverses and throws an absolute strike to second base. That ball didn't come back to him either. That's just knowing where you are on the field. Put the ball right there.
Not quite sure if he got the tag on him or not there.
Yeah.
Kind of a quick swipe tag over the bag. Got him on the right arm coming in.
Cano Blooms one to short. Punto is there. And there are 2 outs.
You see that Swisher slide. He almost he slid too early and his hands kind of stuck. And you're right, it got him there late. I think he was safe.
He didn't tag him on the left hand. He gets him on the right shoulder.
Let's take a look at the IOTB HD Super Shot.
It's close.
Can't even tell. It's hard to argue with the second base ump Chad Fairchild. Here's Melky Cabrera. Pitch outside.
It's the old school, Paulie. If the throw beats him, the guy makes a tag, or at least attempts to make a tag, generally speaking, he's going to get called out. Tino handled you pretty well, Michael. You dropped the old Yankee fans hated your guts when you
He didn't sugarcoat it, did it?
He agreed. He knew it.
I was going to say yeah for a day or two, but you dropped the whole month on it.
Am I right? Was Donnie baseball
he
on
was
opening day?
Yeah, but you know, the thing was, though, it's not like they got rid of Donnie and brought Tino in. Donnie retired, and I think that's somewhat made it easier for Tino. It's not like he came in and did anything behind Donnie's back and pushed him out or anything. Donnie had retired. They had to fill the void, and I mean, what a better person to do it. Brought in a perfect guy at the right time. Actually talked to Donnie the other day. He's doing well out in L.A. Things are going well.
You know, ironically, Mark Teixeira was a huge Mattingly fan growing up, too. Living down in Baltimore, but had the Mattingly jersey. Certainly, I'm sure he's feeling that pressure, too, playing first base here for the Yanks.
And a swing and a miss as Cabrera goes down on strikes. 8-pitch inning for Francisco Liriano, helped out by his defense to shorten it up. We go to the 5th. It's 2-0 Twins. Phil Hughes comes into the 5th inning having thrown 82 pitches. The 2nd and the 4th have taken a lot out of him. He has not really broken, though. He's given up just 2 runs. Here's Matt Tolbert. On Alexa's scoreboard, 2-0 Twins, 2-4-0, leading 0-2-0. David, what are you seeing from Hughes? I mean, for the untrained eye, always looks like he's laboring out there. What are you seeing now?
Well, I'm just seeing a guy who just doesn't have command of his breaking ball tonight. That's a big pitch for him.
Tolbert pops it up. Jeter camps underneath it. 1 away.
Yeah, to his credit, he's really a grinder. I really like Phil Hughes. I like his makeup. As we talked about his age, he's still only 22 years old. Good worker, well liked in the organization, up and down, top to bottom, but he's still learning how to pitch, and he doesn't really have a changeup or a 3rd pitch to go to or a 4th pitch for lefties. So everything's either a slider coming into lefties or the 4-seamer trying to spot it to both sides of the dish. And that big slow knuckle hook really hasn't been there really since he gave up the home run on it early in the game in the 2nd inning. Morneau took him deep on a curveball down and out over the plate, and since that point he hasn't really shown command of that pitch. That's his really one true off-speed pitch. Everything else is hard. Straight fastballs, both sides of the plate, a hard cutter, and then that big slow hook is his off-speed pitch. And we haven't really seen. We saw one changeup, and I think it was that lawn dart we saw in the dirt.
I'm thinking that cutter's going to be a more important pitch, especially lefties. I mean, that's such a good pitch if you can get it where you want. And there it is right there. That ball right there is going to take that left-hander from looking the ball away all the time. And you'll see late movement here. That ball just comes in off the plate, and even if you hit that ball hard as a left-hand hitter, you're going to pull it foul. And that's why that pitch is so good for a righty.
You know, this kid's got no give, Michael. You know, you really like his makeup. He's a grinder. He's still battling out there. He's got his team in the game. He could have fallen apart. This is a step forward for Phil Hughes, as you said, Michael. Several times we've seen him over the last 2 years kind of wilt in these type of games, and he's hanging tough tonight.
Grounded, and a diving stab there by Teixeira. Flips to Hughes for the 2nd out. Nice play by Mark Teixeira, diving to the foul line.
Teixeira is known for his range and his wingspan. Coming over here, the scouting report on Teixeira's defensive ability was great range, great wingspan. You can see she shows it here. He easily gets to the line.
Another thing that's kind of unfortunate for Hughes is, and this is not a knock against Kevin Cash, is if he was pitching to Posada or to Molina, guys that have established themselves as, you know, catchers, good catchers behind the thing, it takes all the thought process away from Hughes. I think that he could, you know, go along with those catchers without giving it a second thought.
Morneau with another home run, a long shot into the 2nd deck. He's hit 2, and the Twins are up 3-0.
If you're going to give him up, you're going to give him up to Morneau. And you can see he's trying to come inside, probably a cutter. It just kind of takes a seat on the inner half of the plate, and Morneau just drills it. He's got that kind of short, quick stroke. Boy, when he gets it, you know it. There's no doubters. Watch how short and quick he gets to this ball. Morneau just beats him to the punch. And that's a home run swing all the way. You can see Cash set up inside, and this ball just kind of takes a seat back over here. Right there is where he wanted it. He kind of wanted it over here.
Line drive to right field, and base hit by Kubel. So Kubel's 2 for 2 with a walk. Another home run for Morneau, his first multi-homer game since 2007. People always forget Josh Hamilton had that amazing home run derby here at Yankee Stadium in the All-Star game, but Morneau won because Hamilton wore himself out in the 2nd round. Let's take a look back at the home run derby. Hamilton just put on a show. He was unbelievable. Almost hit one out of Yankee Stadium. And he will always be remembered for that home run derby, but Morneau won. Larry Walker's getting a little nervous, Paul. Pitch to Cabrerra is low. We're in the 5th inning. It's 3-0 Twins. popped up. Alex Rodriguez has always struggled with pop-ups. This one he handles cleanly for the final out of the 5th inning. But the Twins get a run on the Morneau home run. He had one in the 2nd inning. That one went into the Yankee bullpen. This one went into the 2nd deck in right. The end of 4 1/2. We're halfway through. 3-0 Twins. Leads off. Yankees losing 3-0. And the pitch from Liriano is high, 1-0 on the Lexus scoreboard, 3-6-0, leading 0-2-0. Yankees have the bases loaded in the 3rd inning with 1 out. New 3rd baseman is Brendan Harris taking over for Creedy. And we'll tell you what we hear about Creedy if it was an injury. Anyway, in the 3rd inning, bases loaded, 1 out. Alex Rodriguez struck out. And then Hideki Matsui is soft roller to 2nd as Liriano worked out of trouble. And there's a strike. Yankees 2 catchers are down, Posada and Molina. And Cervelli and Cash now manning that position. The count goes to 3-1. Cash doubled to left field in the 3rd. 71 pitches for Liriano. Not a good strike to ball ratio. Almost 1-1. Driven out to right field. Giving chase is Kadire. He's on the track and he'll make the play right in front of the WB Mason sign for the first out.
Now here's a tale of 2 pitches, and we talked about Phil Hughes' cutter, and these are 2 good hitters, 2 lefties. You see this cutter that continues to bore in. It just goes in off the plate. Same pitch to Morneau, and just watch, this ball doesn't, it just hangs right there. And that is absolutely, probably velocity's the same, Coney, everything's the same, but you don't have that movement in off the plate. That's a swing and a miss and a swing in the 2nd deck.
You know, it's interesting, they always say you can't hang a fastball, but in essence, you can hang a fastball.
That cutter you can, and Coney, you can sure talk about a lot more. I mean, the difference of being able to get that late movement and just missing with that ball, and that's, I mean, obviously what you see in Mariano day in and day out, but why is that pitch so hard to control?
Well, it's really about wrist position, you know, and that's why they call it a backup breaking ball or a backup cutter, because when you get around it with your wrist position, it actually will back up rather than go right to left from a right-handed pitcher into a lefty batter. It actually almost takes a seat or backs up a little bit, and it becomes very hittable and flat out over the plate, as you pointed out, Paul.
You know, it's funny because if you look on the radar gun, those pitches are probably the same velocity, you know, 90, 92. But it's just that last 2 inches at the plate, you know, whether it continues to bore in on your hands or whether it just starts to spin out over the plate. And when it spins out over the plate, it's just like a lukewarm, mediocre fastball.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. 2-0 to Jeter. There's driven out to right field and deep. Going back to Dyer. Track, wall. See ya! Home run into the short deck in right field for Derek Jeter. Yankees on the board. 3-1 Twins.
Jeter gets a 2-0 fastball out over the plate. And that's right where he's looking for it. Watch G. He's going that way the whole way. Outer third. Liriano throws a 2-0 fastball. Jeter delivers it in the right field stands.
Here's Brett Gardner. Now, Gardner's batting in Johnny Damon's spot. If you just joined us late, Johnny Damon was thrown out of the game arguing a called third strike in the third inning, and that snaps his 10-game hitting streak. So this is Gardner's first at bat. The 0-1. Weak hack there in the count 0-2.
You see why Gardner probably had the night off to start with. I mean, Laureano's a tough at bat for lefties. And all of a sudden, you know, you're not into the game, and then Johnny has a couple bad at bats for Wally Bell, and next thing you know, you're up at bat.
The 0-2. 1-2.
Well, in his career, Liriano's he's a strikeout pitcher, Paul. He's 9.5 strikeouts per 9 innings in his career. 277 strikeouts and 261 in the third inning. He's got 5 tonight through 5. He's got that kind of stuff. He's definitely a K-ball type pitcher.
1-2. Not foul. Oh, a milestone home run for Brett Gardner in Toronto. His first major league home run. Right down the line, right inside the foul screen. And the captain liked it, and I'm sure that Gardner did as well.
You know, it's funny. The reason he hit that home run was probably because of the situation he was in. It was a man on second, no outs, trying to get him over. Got a pitch in off the plate and still turned on it to try to pull it. I don't know if that's real smart pitching right there, Coney, when a guy's trying to pull the ball.
No, nope. You just kind of get sped up. You speed up the bat. If a guy's looking to pull the ball and get the head started early, and you throw something off speed, you're just going to help speed him up.
There's a base hit for Gardner. Now let's see if he goes.
Now, Tony, you talked about the difference in golf and baseball, and I'm going to show you the difference in golf and baseball. Right here, he had 2 horrible swings, and they were both foul balls, but then you get to get a hit right up the middle. Now, in golf, if there's no foul ball, if you hook one in the woods, your day's over. Good at bat by Gardner. Down in the count. Like I said, a couple tough swings, and stays in there and drives it up the middle.
Gardner leads off first. And here's Mark Teixeira. 0-1. That one he rips just foul outside of third.
And again, when Tino Martinez was up here earlier, he said he talked to Teixeira about relaxing and all these things. But these are the things that happen when you want it to happen. You try to force it to happen. You get a good pitch, you hit it hard, it just goes foul. The next thing you know, you look up on you're always behind in the count. It seems like your at-bats are in fast motion.
Rip foul again.
See 2 pitches right there. Laureano left both of them right out over the middle of the plate. And Coney, you know as well as I do, good hitters, when you get good pitches to hit, you center them, you hit them, you don't pull them foul. I mean, they're good swings, but you see him and his frustration. You know that's not a great swing because you're hitting a good strike foul.
Check swing, ground ball up the middle. There's one, and on to first. It's a double play. And the Boo Bird's out for Mark Teixeira. But Derek Jeter got the Yankees on the board. A 2-0 pitch. He takes it the other way. It's his 5th home run of the year. He didn't hit his 5th home run last year until July 12th. 3-1 Twins. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. It's 3-1 Twins as we go to the 6th inning. And Joe Torre, that's 2 years ago. Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. Joe Torre's making calls in L.A. for the Dodgers. Joe Girardi brings in Jonathan Albaladeo. And Brendan Harris batting in Joe Creedy's spot. His first at bat takes a strike, and those are Albaladeo's numbers.
When you look at him, doesn't that glove look too small for him?
That's a little small for a pitcher's glove. Definitely. I used to like the big ones.
Like he stole his little brother's glove out there.
You can try to hide your pitches a little better with a bigger glove. I used to have a net out there, Paulie. I couldn't get a big enough glove. That's a second baseman's glove right there. Can't even get his whole hand in there.
Albaladeo's been pitching better. He's had scoreless outings in 5 of his last 6 appearances as Joe Girardi continues to find the right combination out there. Now, Phil Koch is available tonight. And you see that glove, it is kind of tiny. Rounded softly to second. Cano. One away.
Well, Michael, we talked about Phil Hughes. Obviously, night's done. 5 innings. You know, we tried to evaluate him. I know a lot of eyes were on Phil Hughes tonight. A lot of speculation about Chen-Ming Wong when he'll be back and going to make another start in AAA. But you know, Phil Hughes really battled tonight. But his command was off. He only threw 12 strikes to 24 hitters. He faced 24 batters, only threw first pitch strikes to 12 of them. You know, that's 50%. It's not going to get it done against especially a good Minnesota lineup. You know, but I really thought he made a step forward in terms of battling through. That game could have got away from him. He had the bases loaded. Well,
it could easily be 6-0. You know, instead of 3-1 right now. So he got his big outs when he needed to. But I think if you'll talk to him, he battled. He didn't have one easy inning where he came in and could catch his breath.
Attempted bunt there by Gomez. We told you 30 bunt singles for him last year. Now we just get word on Creedy, tightness in his lower back, and this guy's had back surgery before. That's not a good thing. He's day to day. That's why he was taken out of the lineup. Just missed outside by Albaladeo. What's amazing about Albaladeo's glove? He's got his name stitched in, and I mean, it's such a small glove. You can't get Albaladeo on it. Coming right off the thumb that last end of Jonathan.
I tell you what, that's kind of a new thing in baseball, but I remember the first spring training that, you know, every spring training you would go in your locker and you'd get, you know, your 4 or 5 gloves for the year and you'd break them in spring training. And that was, I thought, yeah, this is pretty cool when you walk in and they've got your name stitched through the glove, but, you know, everybody does it now.
Well, you used to have to earn that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
A couple years in the big leagues.
Swing and a miss. Gomez takes off for first, but Cash makes the throw to Teixeira, so it's a strikeout, and the putout is 2-3.
It used to be, as you see Jeter's glove right there, it used to be Rawlings would sign you to a lifetime contract. And you see there.
Gold glove.
Usually that part right there, if you'd want a gold glove, would be gold in the old days. You see that?
Well, Jeter's also got his own wristband. That's really cool.
He's got everything. He's got colognes. He's got all kinds of stuff working, doesn't he?
There's a bunt. And they're going to test out A-Rod, as we told you. And even a healthy third baseman, that's a perfect bunt by Punto, and he picks up a single.
If you watch it, and Punto would have known what a good bunt it was, and he wouldn't have gone head first into first base like he did. You see that, but boy, you don't know if you're going to get a throw or not. So you have to do everything you can. And again, Michael, that I don't know anybody, but right here, I want a single there, right, Coney?
Belly flop into first. Boy, I always worry when I see guys do that. You know, yeah, easy way to separate a shoulder. I still remember Kenny Lofton doing that in the playoffs. Boy, that was a devastating injury for him. Boy, it's a lot of risk for very little reward on that type of play down the first base line.
If you're a fielder, though, you know, a second baseman, a third baseman, a guy's coming into the bag, I mean, it's much easier to have his hands coming at you than the spikes. I mean, the old days, they, you know, spikes up. It made it dangerous to get down there and catch the ball.
Also, it makes no sense. And I remember the Mets, when Bobby Valentine was manager, they used to always be diving into first base. And he would tell them, what are you doing? You're slowing yourself down. If that was the fastest way to get there, then when they ran the 100-yard dash, the guy would dive across the line.
He's got a point there.
Runner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. Stolen base for Punto.
Well, that's how you do it. You get a bunt single, and you're going to go ahead and take advantage. Abeladeo is pretty quick to home plate. Punto got a nice jump. And Kevin Cash delivers the ball, maybe a little bit high, but give Punto credit there with a great bunt to get on, and then a good jump to steal second. Now you find yourself in scoring position, and Cash's throw is not bad, just a little high.
You know, in the books it doesn't show up, but that's a 15-foot bunt that has turned into a double, and that's the way this team can play.
Fourth stolen base for Punto. And by the way, his second bunt hit of the year. Bernard Span tonight 1 for 2 with a walk. Foul back. Brian Bruni threw again in the bullpen today, and they're looking for him sometime in the next couple of days to maybe do a simulated game. Obviously, he doesn't have to pitch a whole game, maybe an inning or two. And when he came into the dugout before the game after throwing in the bullpen, he said he felt great. So the Yankees could really use him back. He's their 8th inning guy. Twins 0 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position. Span's trying to change that. 3-1 Twins are in the top of the 6th. 1-2. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. He spoiled that one. Twins actually rotate 4 outfielders. And Delman Young was placed on the family medical emergency list today, so he is not with them. He's one of the 4 outfielders. That's got to aggravate a pitcher a little bit, David.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm watching this approach here, and it's almost like, I mean, I keep looking at the count. He's got 2 strikes, but it's almost like he's going to take the ball. And then he's just like, you know, feeling it and fouling it off.
Along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on the YES Network, and we thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. It's 3-1 Twins, the beginning of a 4-game set between these 2 teams, a wraparound series that ends on Monday night.
He's got him set up, Paulie, here. When you see those kind of swings, you got to bust him in. You've got to bury a fastball inside on the inside corner and try to put him away.
2-2. Goes up and away, and the count 3-2.
You see him, I mean, he gets loaded, and then he kind of just holds those hands. It has nothing going, and he's just going to flick the ball. But with that kind of speed, I mean, with 2 strikes, that's what you want to see as a manager, to see him try to slap the ball somewhere and not overswing.
He's done a good job for the Twins this year. Span has really established himself as a great leadoff hitter and a good center fielder.
3-2. Missed inside. So 2 quick outs and then a bunt single, a stolen base, and a walk, and that'll bring up Matt Tolbert.
And a good at bat is what that was. He fouled off a couple tough pitches, and then he laid off a tough pitch right there. And that's, again, you see guys that come in here hitting 300 or right around it, you know they're doing something right at the plate. And if you watch that last at bat, he spoiled a couple tough pitches and then took ball 4.
Anthony Mason, former Knick player, here at the game. What is the deal today? There are a lot of big-time people. We saw Richard Gere before us. Paul mentioned.
Brandon Steiner there on the right. Steiner Sports.
Earlier in the day, saw Artie Lang at the Howard Stern Show. He's a huge Yankee fan. Kate Hudson, counting how many bracelets she has.
She's got a special New York Yankee bracelet. Look at that.
Might be the Geico play of the game right there, Michael.
Mr. Trump.
The Donald. Right there, that's the no-spin zone. Right there. Bill O'Reilly and Donald Trump.
Think they're talking politics?
No money.
That's right. Baseball, no politics in baseball, right, Michael?
It shouldn't be.
Everybody gets along at Yankee Stadium.
The 0-1.
Well, maybe not everybody.
I try to get along with everybody. I know you do too, David. Paul has trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. He gets Tolbert for the final out of the 6th inning. No runs to hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. 3-1 Twins. Time now for a word from our friends at the Fox Business Network. On your scoreboard. And for more delicious kind of K, try Green Mountain K-Cups from WB Mason. A perfect cup every time. A fresh cup when you want it. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Yankees trailing 3-1. 3-7-0 for the Twins. 1-4-0 for the Yanks. How you doing? Alex Rodriguez leads off. Struck out with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 3rd. And Liriano deals a pitch. Upstairs 1-0. Alex so far since coming up the DL is 3 for 22. Count 1-1.
Liriano's had one of those nights, Paulie, where he's coming in. He's got 45 strikes, 40 balls, 85 or so pitches. just kind of conveniently wild. He's fallen behind a lot. The Yankees have chased some pitches for him, but when he's needed to make a pitch, he can come up with a nasty pitch too.
1-1. Outside, 2-1.
You know, the big difference in a guy like Laureano is when he makes that quality pitching, it's strikeout with it. It's not that if he makes a good pitch and he can get a strike, he gets strikeouts, and that gets you out a lot of the jams for him.
Count 3-1 on A-Rod. Alex walked in the second, struck out in the third. And Alex walks. Well, it's time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question was, who was the Twins' most potent weapon? And you've been texting us at 58772. Here's how you voted. Wow, Justin Morneau, the former MVP, got 47% of your vote. And Joe Mauer, 42%, two-time batting champion. And Joe Nathan, one of the underrated closers in baseball, got 11% of the vote.
Said, what have you done for me lately thing? You hit a couple home runs and you win the texting vote, right?
I guess that's the way it works. Here's Hideki Matsui. He's 0 for 2. Pitch outside. Matsui 4 for his last 35. He's amazing. He could go on a streak of 2 weeks where you can't get him out, and then he looks totally hapless for 2 weeks. Here's Phil Coke warming. His back is feeling better. High fly ball, right center. Gomez took a step out, now comes in to make the play. Hey, tonight after the postgame on Yes, Yankees great Bernie Williams plays songs from his new album in the concert special Bernie Williams Moving Forward. This intimate performance captures Bernie's recent appearance at the Nokia Theater in New York. It's Bernie Williams Moving Forward tonight after the postgame only on Yes. 91 pitches for Liriano. And that'll bring up Nick Swisher, who walked in the second and then grounded one inside third down the left field line in the fourth, but was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. That was leading off the fourth inning. Good throw by Denard Span. Count 1-0. Well, the Yankees have had a hit or a walk in every inning since the first. And in the first, they went down 1-2-3.
You kind of get the sense from the Yankees standpoint, this is the inning you want to knock Liriano out of the game. He's getting up towards 100 pitches. You're going to see a little stirring in the Minnesota bullpen right now. A-Rod got the leadoff walk. Matsui flew out, but this is a big at-bat in this game right here.
Yeah, and some of that, the weakness of the Minnesota Twins is their bullpen before you get to Nathan. So, if you can get into that bullpen 6th, 7th, 8th inning, chances are you can throw up some runs.
Jesse Crain, hard-throwing right-hander. Twins carry 7 relievers, 5 righties and 2 lefties. Alex gets a decent lead, but I'm not sure that running is on the menu for him at this point. Had serious hip surgery. He told Kim Jones before the game that he's had a couple of discussions with Chase Utley of the Phillies and Mike Lowell of the Red Sox. And because they both had the same surgery, he said he spoke more with Utley. I wouldn't suppose a Red Sox would be giving Alex a lot of advice on coming back from that surgery, but he said he has spoken with Chase Utley quite a bit. And they both come back and played very well. Two-one. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Marty Foster.
This is what Liriano does. 2-1. He doesn't give in all night long. Another slider. It's probably a ball, and you see Swisher. Ball's out, the bat's out in front of the plate. I'm certainly wanting that as a call if I'm on the mound, Paulie. It's Liriano, to his credit, has not given in. He hasn't been real sharp with his control, but he can make a pitch when he has to, and he can pitch behind. Pitch backwards, rather. 2-1 count. You see that? 48 balls and 47 strikes. Pretty remarkable that he's only given up 1 run.
2-2. And another weak hack there by Swisher as he goes down swinging. 2 away. Hey, Hall of Famer Wade Boggs will be at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey tomorrow, May 16th from 10:30 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. signing copies of The Final Season, the official retrospective. Now, this special book recounts the events that took place at Yankee Stadium in 2008 and retails for $35. There will be no additional charge to get your copy signed by Wade. For more information on this event, visit www.bookends.com or call 201-445-0726.
Boggsy down in Jersey tomorrow. Huh?
Pitch outside to Robinson Cano. He's got Jonathan Alvaludeo's gloves.
That's right.
Count 2-0.
All of a sudden, that zone is getting a little tighter. That's where you've got confusion in the hitters and the pitchers at this point.
Here's an amazing stat about Nick Swisher, who started the season so hot. He's now struck out 17 times in his last 34 at-bats. And 3-0 to Cano with the switch hitter Cabrerra on deck. Looks like one of the bigger crowds of the year here at Yankee Stadium on a beautiful Friday night. It seemed like the first 13 games here, the weather was not good at all. It was either really cold or really rainy, and there were rain delays, but today's a beautiful night. He can't bear to watch this pitch. And Cano walks. Six walks. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, will come out and talk. That's going to bring up Melky Cabrera. So the Twins lead hanging in the balance. Yankees have not picked up big hits tonight. They're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Their only run on Derek Jeter's solo home run in the 5th inning to right field. Wally Bell's going to break this up.
Situation here, Paulie, you know, what are you thinking? You're up at the plate. You're seeing this guy's kind of losing the strike zone a little bit. You're Melky Cabrera here, right-handed batting against a left-handed pitcher. Are you looking for a cookie first pitch? Well, try to jump on it?
You know, it's hard for me because I know if I'm looking at Laureano as a left-hander, I'm afraid to give him a strike, so I'm not taking. You know, some guys would take if a guy's struggling. I can't take off of him because if he gets ahead in the count, he's got too good of a slider as a strikeout pitch. So I'm definitely looking fastball out over the plate because I don't want to get late in the count where he can throw his good slider.
And that one is punched out towards second. Tolbert's there, and Laureano gets the out and gets out of a jam that he created with the 2 walks. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Melky 1 for 14 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Pitch by pitch on this one.
This is way back. I remember this, Cody. This was a pinch hit. Came off the bench. Oh. Look at Cody shake. How can a scrub like that hit a home run? That's what he's saying. Couldn't even start off of him.
Now, you actually got the win. That was your first big league win.
That was my first big league win. This guy broke up the shutout in the 8th inning off the bench. Still got the win, though.
That's all that matters, right?
I want you to explain this, though. I mean, you were an elite pitcher. Paul O'Neill, 14 for 44, 318, 3 home runs against you. Why?
Well, he got 4 of those 14 in one game. His debut with the Yankees here at Yankee Stadium.
That's
I had more
true.
trouble with you later in your career because you learned how to throw down and in for balls. I could usually handle the ball. You were a good sinker baller away, and I could handle the curveball. But as soon as you learned to throw that split finger down and in, then I had a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you can see that home run was up and away. That's Paulie's strength. He can really drive the ball that way.
You know, it's interesting, David. You had less trouble with you as you got older. There's a strike.
Yeah, you know it. You just gotta make peace with your demons, Michael.
Yes,
you know?
I think you have. I really believe
friends,
you have.
Make friends with all those flaws.
You're pals with them now.
First name basis.
Phil Koch on for the Yanks. The pitch is high, 2-1.
I'm going to meet a couple of them for a drink after this game, too.
You see what Koch's done. He's missed the last couple of games with a sore lower back, but ran off the field before the game today. Said, I feel fine, I'm back. The Yankees really need him. He's become an important member of that bullpen. Bauer rips one to center field. Gardner back, still back, track, wall. See ya. Into Monument Park for Joe Mauer. A home run against Koch, and it's 4-1 Twins.
Well, we talked about Mauer, what he's done. You know, it's his 5th home run, but he's only been in there for a couple weeks. We've seen the best 2 hitters at their best tonight. A fastball didn't quite get in, and from a lefty to turn on a lefty inside like that and drive it out dead center field. I mean, that's a lot of power.
Bordeaux pops it up foul.
That was impressive. I mean, you talk a lot about Mauer and his power and just his athleticism, but boy, that was just an impressive swing. Phil Koch, 93 miles an hour, inner third, not out over the middle. He almost got that on the inside corner. And as you said, Paulie, not only did he get inside this ball, you see where Cash is setting up inside. He's not really moving that glove.
No.
That ball is kind of, maybe it's down a little bit, but to be able to get his hands inside this pitch, you see where that pitch is definitely
right on
inner
the corner,
third.
yeah.
We're almost on the corner. And to get inside that pitch and drive it out to dead center, that's impressive.
Foul back. And the 1-2. Grounded to first. Teixeira with a tough hop. 1 away. Hey fans, after the final out of this game against the Twins, don't miss the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. Nancy Newman brings you all the highlights from this game and around the majors, plus Kimberly Jones talks to the team from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Brett Tomko warming for the Yankees. Starter Phil Hughes only won 5 innings. There's a nice breaking ball strike to Kubel. Perfect time to bring in Koch with 3 lefties in a row, Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel. Ten of Koch's previous 11 outings had been scoreless.
The thing the Yankees like about Phil Koch is, even though he gave up a home run right there, he's fearless. He attacks the zone. Rarely does he walk guys, fall behind in the count. He attacks the strike zone. And out of all the Yankee relievers, the problems have been just the opposite. A lot of deep counts, a lot of walks from some of the guys in the bullpen. Not from Phil Koch. That's why the Yankees really like this guy.
Grounded softly toward first. Teixeira has an easy play. for the second out. And Joe Girardi is going to mix and match. He'll bring in the righty now to face Michael Kadire. So he wanted Koch in there for the 3 left-handers, and that's a move that he's going to make throughout this 4-game set because they always have those lefties stacked. So Brett Tomko will come on. Tomko against Kadire. Yankees are down 4-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Please stay where you are. We'll be back on Yes.
Hosted by Michael Kay. The singer-songwriter looks back on his career, including his early days growing up in New York and meeting Joe DiMaggio. Center Stage, Paul Simon premieres Wednesday night at 11, only on Yes.
Brett Tomko deals pitch up high. Now, we've done about, I'd say, 120, 130 center stages. That's one of my favorites. He was great. You got to watch this. He was great. Big Yankee fan, really knows baseball. Kadire pops up the 1-0 pitch. Brett Gardner is there, and that'll do it. In the 7th, the Twins 1 run on 1 hit, the home run by Maurer, no errors, and nobody left on base. The end of 6.5 innings of play. It's time for the 7th inning stretch, but we stay right here in New York to honor America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
One run, that was on a solo home run by Derek Jeter, and that came in the 5th inning. That was all against Francisco Liriano. So one positive is they do not see him in the game. He threw too many pitches over 6 innings, so they bring in the hard-throwing right-hander Jesse Crane. And I guess you just want anybody different on the mound, Paul, and you feel a little bit different and a little bit better because you had no success against the other guy.
Right. I mean, you got a starter when he didn't have his best stuff, but he had good enough stuff to shut you down to this point. And again, we've talked about their bullpen. You know, they've got Joe Nathan out there in the 9th, but to get to him, you've got to get through a few innings. And the Yankees got to feel in the next couple innings that they can throw up some runs.
Kevin Cash will lead off, 1 for 2 tonight. Crane deals outside 1-0.
Michael, you talked about the weather, and tonight's really the first night you've had kind of a hint of summer, and there is a different atmosphere here tonight. It seems like the crowd's a little livelier. People have shown up to come up, and hopefully this is what is going to come when the summer months get closer.
Well, I agree with you, Paul. There seems to be a different buzz in this ballpark than there was in the first 2 homestands, and maybe it was because of the terrible weather. People seemed like they were battling the elements and just wanted to stay warm and dry. Pitch foul back. Count 2-1. Crane is allowed a run in 3 consecutive outings. Driven out to center. Gomez puts it away for the first out. Tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees play Game 2 against the Twins right here at Yankee Stadium. The coverage is going to start at noon with batting practice today, and then Tri-State 4 pregame. And then David Cohn, Paul O'Neill, and I have the call. Twins and the Yankees tomorrow starting at noon. Only on Yes. Jabba will get the start tomorrow against Nick Blackburn. That should be a good game. Here's Derek Jeter. He's essentially the Yankees offense tonight with that home run into the short porch and right in the 5th inning. (4-1) Twins. First game of a 4-game set and the first game of a 10-game homestand. And a strike. Got the Twins for 4, the Orioles for 3, and then the Phillies as interleague play starts. The defending world champions come in here next weekend for 3 games. And the 0-1. 1-1. Jeter lined out to left in the first, so he swung the bat well on that one. Then he walked in the 3rd, and then the home run the other way in the 5th. Breaking ball is upstairs, 2-1.
You can see Crane's got a good fastball. He's up in the mid-90s so far with his fastball. That was the first hook we got him to see. Kind of left that one up. Predominantly fastball hook.
And now 3-1. He wants to do baseball.
You see that right over the top delivery, and usually as a hitter, you knew a pitcher that came straight over the top usually had that up and down curveball too. Good hard riding fastball.
Yankees, excuse me, Paul. Yankees have had their chances. Liriano walks 6. You see Crane here finds himself 3-1 with 1 out with Gardner on deck. And they certainly have had their chances tonight.
Foul away. In case you just joined us in the 5th inning, Derek Jeter worked a 2-0 count. And Liriano with a fastball up and away. Jeter took it that way to right field. His 5th homer of the year. Did hit number 5 last year until July 12th.
If you look at that swing, a lot of times you'll see a guy drive the ball to right field because he's late. I mean, that was a 2-0 fastball. Just trying to get a quick picture in there. That a 2-0 fastball that looked like his sole intention was to shoot that ball to right field.
(3-2). Soft ground ball is short. Punto gets Jeter for the second out.
I was going to say, with that right over the top delivery, it's going to be hard to get movement, but you saw late movement there right in on Jeet's hand. Jeet usually gets out of the box real quick, but when you get jammed on a pitch like this, you see that ball running in on him. Kind of hard to get out of the base. See that reaction, you know before you're even out of the box you're out. That's a bad feeling as a hitter.
Crane, one of those rare pitchers that come back from torn rotator cuffs. That is a surgery that's not easy to bounce back from, and he's throwing the ball hard, as David mentioned. He had a torn rotator cuff and a torn labrum back in May of '07. The 0-1. There's a strike 0-2. Jesse Crane went to the University of Houston. He was a two-way player. He was a closer and also a shortstop.
Sounds like what you used to in high school, wasn't it, Conan?
Hi, Bernie.
Pitch on Monday, play shortstop on Wednesday.
And the 0-2. Loop to left field. That could be trouble coming on a span. He can't make the play. And it gets by him. And it rolls down the left field line. Off to the races is Gardner. He's rounding third. They're waving him home. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. And inside the park home run. Brett Gardner. It's 4-2 Twins.
And as an outfielder, you take a route to the ball, and all of a sudden he got by it, got a quick hop by him, and then he didn't get that ricochet with Gardner's speed. You see Span get to, and that ball almost bounced to the side.
Well, we've been waiting for a chance to watch Brett Gardner really air it out and run the bases, and we just saw a prime example, and that kid can fly.
That's his second career home run. The first one was conventional. That one a bit unconventional as he showcased his speed. So the crowd now buzzing, and here's Teixeira. Breaking ball strike.
One of the quicker home run trots we'll see in baseball right there, right?
That's what Gardner brings to the party, that dynamic aspect. Driven down the right field line by Teixeira. That is a base hit. One hop up against the wall. Teixeira goes for two. The throw off the foot of Teixeira. It's a double. Boy, what a throw by Cabrerra. Very close play at second.
Again, ball hooked down there, got a good ricochet. Kind of got backwards, but made a really, really strong throw.
That throw's right on the bag, Paulie.
Right.
Teixeira just knocked it out of the way.
It's one thing you learn quick when you play in Yankee Stadium, and I don't know if it's here or the old Yankee Stadium, is how quick that those guys can get that right field ball back into second base.
Speaking of quick, Paul, how about this? Can you run like this?
I'd have a double on this.
Now he smells it. Cuts the bag hard. Heads to third. Rob Thompson waving him home. Now, is that a head-first slide or a collapse?
It's just a little extra adrenaline going on right there.
Tell you what, that was a great read by third base coach Rob Thompson. He never hesitated. You almost saw Gardner almost slow down at third for a step, and Thompson was all over it. Waved him home, got some life back in this crowd.
Big spot for Alex Rodriguez. He now is the tying run at the plate. Teixeira's on second. A-Rod's 0 for 1 with 2 walks.
You know, Coney, it's funny, interesting you said that. Is, you know, if he holds him up at third base there and then he scores on the next pitch, you don't have the excitement you had in the crowd by having that inside the park home run. So again, you might get caught up in that moment, but sometimes you take a chance there and try to bring everything, you know, get things going.
It's a good take right there by A-Rod. We've seen him swinging some pitches out of the zone. Now you got a 2-0 count in a big spot. You know, if I'm Jesse Crane here, I'm not giving in. But if I'm A-Rod, I'm keyholing a fastball right here, and I'm putting a big swing on it.
You got to watch that fastball that he threw Derek earlier in the inning. That one that bores in on your hands. It'll tie you up with that long swing with a fastball count.
The 2-0. 3-0. On deck is Matsui.
Well, you almost get the sense here, Paulie, that Jesse Crane doesn't want anything to do with A-Rod right here. He's not going to give in. You got first base open, even though you got a left-hander on deck in Matsui. You get the sense here that he just assumed let A-Rod go ahead and take a walk. You know, here's the question here. Do you let him swing 3-0, Paulie? You look for a fastball?
You know, I don't know. And this is the thing where a pitcher's pitching to A-Rod and not what he's doing so far. I mean, he's, you know, he's not A-Rod at this point offensively, but still.
And A-Rod walks for the third time tonight.
Taken all the way. And Coney, do you ever get to that point where you're pitching to that name and what they're doing, not what they are at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm thinking along with Jesse Crane, once you fell behind 0-2 or 2-0 there, that you just might as well go ahead and put A-Rod on first base, because he could have easily tied that game up with one swing. And even though he got Matsui at lefty up now, possibly, depending on what guard he's going to do here, he's obviously going to take him out. So
well, Kevin Long goes over with Matsui. What the next pitcher throws, we will see as Jose Mijares comes in. The lefty Mijares against Matsui. Stay tuned. On deck as Java Chamberlain gives you a few power pitching tips and learn about some of the strangest rules in the school of baseball. Plus, go out of the park and into a fishing boat with Sabathia, Bruni, and Swisher. It's an all-new Yankees on Deck Sunday morning at 11:30 only on Yes. So the left-hander, Jose Mijares, against the left-hander, Hideki Matsui. The tying runs are on base. Yankees are trailing 4-2. Nice scoop there by Maurer. Mijares so far this year against righties, they're hitting .250, 5 for 20. Lefties are 2 for 14, 143. This is his 10th game. He can strike people out, as you can see. Not too many walks.
Broke in last year with the Twins. Got into 10 games last year, all in relief. Pitched 10 innings, 10 and a third innings.
Brett Gardner got the excitement rolling here at the stadium with an inside the park home run. Now, speaking of inside the park home runs, Gardner's inside the Parker, the first by a Yankee since Ricky Leday did it in Seattle on August 29th of 1999. You were both on that team.
Can't say I remember that one. You, Conan?
I remember how tired Ricky Leday was when he got the home plate. When he got in the dugout, he was exhausted. Brett Gardner didn't look too tired. Oh, right there, yeah, he's reflecting, still catching his breath a little bit.
Well, Gardner came into the game after Damon was thrown out. He's 2 for 2. And that was not in Seattle. It was actually at the old Yankee Stadium.
I'll tell you, Johnny Damon was probably better off getting thrown out because, you know, once you get on the bad side, he had already taken 2 at-bats away from him.
Matsui trying to give the Yankees the lead there. Big, healthy cut, 2-1.
There's a situation, it's a 2-0 fastball, and he kind of helps him out there. You see Jose's having a hard time throwing strikes, and Matsui really looking to get it started early. He's thinking one thing here, Paulie, getting a 2-0 fastball and launching it. You see his head fly out of there. I'm impressed with your pronunciation of this young man's last name, Michael. I don't even think I'm going to take an attempt at it.
You just went with Jose. The 2-1. He's gone away, away, away. And on deck is the switch hitter, Nick Swisher.
You could see it's just a classic case of a young pitcher coming in and just hanging onto the ball too long. He does not want to make a mistake on the inner half of the plate in Yankee Stadium. He's obviously a little bit nervous out there. It's a big spot for him. He's having trouble finding the zone right here. And if you're Matsui, you better make sure you get a good ball to hit.
3-1, and he walked him. So he comes in to walk the left-hander. The base is loaded. Now the tying run moves to second base.
Well, Paulie, we talked about golf. You know, here you are. You're going to tee it up first hole, and you just snapped it into the woods right there. That's a snap hook. There's another one on your mulligan. Matsui helps him out a little bit there. Not even close. That's a 3-1 fastball that misses by a foot. That's just emotions. That's just nerves taking over. You can see he's in a big spot right here in Yankee Stadium. Now you get the bases loaded.
What is it as a pitcher? I know when you were nervous as a hitter, I mean, you would squeeze that bat, and nothing was fluid. You try to force it. And I always, as a pitcher, is it the release point?
It's the same thing. When you grip the ball, you grip the bat a little too tight. It's the same thing with the baseball. You start squeezing it just a little bit.
Here's Swisher. There's a strike. Now Swisher struck out his last time up. He's 1 for 2, walked, singled, and then struck out. He's had 17 strikeouts in his last 34 plate appearances. Count 0-2.
You're caught in between as a hitter. Tino said it early in the game about Teixeira. You're trying to hit that perfect pitch, that perfect swing. All of a sudden, you've had 2 pitches, 2 hittable pitches. You look up and you're 0-2. This is a tough time for a young pitcher to try to waste a slider down in the dirt with bases loaded. But Swisher's been, swinging at that pitch off Laureano all night.
Way inside. And one thing, this game would be tied with a single because Rodriguez is getting a gigantic secondary lead at second. The shortstop and the second baseman are simply too far away to even try to check him back. And the outfield is very, very deep. Any blooper is going to fall in. But A-Rod is almost 40 feet off the bag once the pitch is delivered. Blocked by Maurer.
A lot of confidence in your young catcher right there. You called it, Paulie. Do you get the guts to throw this pitch with the bases loaded? If you got a guy like Maurer behind the plate, then I guess you do.
All of a sudden, you've gone 0-2, now back to a hitter's count, and 2-2, especially with bases loaded. I mean, pitchers don't want to go to 3-2 with bases loaded. Everybody in the ballpark knows that.
Swisher hitting .304 with runners in scoring position this year. 252 overall. And the 2-2. High fly ball, shallow left, backing up Punto. And he holds on for the final out. We told you the outfield was playing deep, so Punto had to make the catch and almost rolled out of the glove. The highlight for the Yankees in this inning, Brett Gardner off to the races. The Preakness is tomorrow, but the winner today in the 7th inning is Brett Gardner. Or more no. Please vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Brett Tomko deals to Brendan Harris, who fouls it away. Yankees are now 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. They are not getting the big hit. Tomko came on to get Kadire for the final out of the 7th. And now he jumps up in the count 0-2 to Brendan Harris. 4-2 Twins lead. 8 hits for the Twins, 6 hits for the Yankees. Yankees, though, have gotten 6 walks and have been unable to do anything with it. Both runs, check that, 8 walks. I didn't count the 2 in the 7th inning. 8 walks and 6 hits, and just 2 runs, both on home runs.
Well, that's a lot of base runners, Paulie. A lot of base runners to only get 2 runs. It's frustrating for the Yankees. They're trying. You know, we've all been there.
A lot of big opportunities. You just minus that one big hit.
Well, to the Twins' credit, Liriano made some great pitches when he had to. When he got into trouble, he can make a pitch. You know, if you're Nick Swisher there, you're sitting and you watch this lefty come in and not even come close to walking the previous hitter. And all of a sudden, boom, boom, you're 0-2.
Ended up getting a good pitch to hit, though, 2-2, and that's the thing. I mean, bases loaded, you get that one good pitch, you got to do something with it. And back to why a big reason why they haven't scored a lot of runs in Liriano is that he had the ability to get strikeouts, and you know, he's got that good enough slider to get those huge outs.
That one's looped into right field for a base hit from Brendan Harris. So a leadoff single for Harris.
You see Cash setting up down and away, and that ball's up and outer third. You can almost see his eyes light up, and he's thinking going the other way the whole time.
It's amazing how good your swing looks when you get a good pitch to hit, man. You know, it's funny if you took a video of all the hits in the major leagues over a year, it's usually you see that catcher's glove moving. It's usually mistakes. I mean, hitters hit mistakes, and I know it looks so easy on television at that target, but you know when you're 60 foot 6 inches out there hitting that target time and time again, it's got to be difficult.
Thinking about bunting is Gomez in the count 1-0.
You ever go through a game, Coney, and figure out, you know, when you were at your best, I mean, how many pitches, really bad, glaring misses you had throughout a game?
Well, you know, what you do, it's easy to forget about the pitches you miss that don't get hit or they get fouled back. You know, and as a pitcher, you know, those are easy to forget. But you know, a lot of times you go through the lineup once, twice, that third time through the lineup is when you really got to mix in, as you said before earlier in this game, you got to mix in maybe your third pitch or give different looks. Or start guys off with breaking balls that you showed fastballs the time before. And, you know, but as far as missing your location, you know, there's some games you can get away with it, right, and other games where you get hurt. And those are the games that you remember.
See Scott Alger going through the signs. They took the bunt off, and Tomko throws a strike. Bunted in front of the plate. Going to be a tough play at first. Wow, very dangerous play there for Teixeira, who had to reach into the runner. And we've seen players really get hurt. And it looks like Gomez is pretty angry. I think he's angry at Teixeira.
Yeah, I think that Teixeira felt like his foot was where it was supposed to be, and he might have.
But Teixeira's mad at Gomez because he thought Gomez should have been in the baseline. He thought that you know, that's a dangerous play. You know, we've seen a lot of first basemen get hurt, breaking arms. Brian Roberts, the second baseman for the Orioles, got that. And you can see Gardenhauer and Girardi really going at it. But Teixeira was jawing at Gomez, thinking that he got a little too close to him going through the bag. And he'd let Gomez know about it, and Gomez took exception with it.
Saying I don't want to hear it. I mean, this is baseball, and until you see a replay, you're not going to know if Gomez stays in the line. But I've never known anybody who intentionally come off and try to cleat somebody. But you know, you saw Teixeira's reaction like he was where his foot was supposed to be, and you'll probably see a little better angle here.
See, he's running up the line in the grass, and you're supposed to be in the box. That's what Teixeira's saying. He's saying Gomez is nowhere near the box. He's inside the baseline and coming too close to Teixeira. And, you know, it's a bang-bang play at first base.
You know, I thought it was his foot. It was actually his hand with the glove. He didn't get it on the foot.
And Teixeira's angry because Cliff Floyd almost had his career ruined by reaching in like that. A lot of first basemen over the years in baseball. It's a dangerous play. A lot of first basemen have alligator arms, but that one, he reaches in, and you could have your whole wrist snapped and shattered. And I think that Teixeira was kind of ticked off. And look what happened to Brian Roberts at the old place. As he's covering first base, he reaches in and shattered his whole arm. It's a very dangerous play, and a lot of pitchers will not, or not, a lot of fielders will not reach into the runner because of that.
It's almost a timing play there, though. I mean, that ball sailed up the line. I don't know that either guy really did anything wrong there.
Edouard Ramirez is called on by Joe Girardi, who was heated and got right in the face of Gardenhauer. So maybe the Yankees need this sort of thing to spark him. Let's take one last look. We'll be back in just a moment. And Teixeira avoids a serious injury. count 1-0 on Nick Punto. And Edward Ramirez, a new pitcher, deals a strike, 1-1. 4-2 Twins over the Yankees. Things get a little heated here in the top of the 8th inning as Mark Teixeira thinks that Carlos Gomez running out of the line and in the grass. And in a previous run down the first base line, it looked like Teixeira gave him a look again. This was in the 6th inning, and it was on a strikeout. So Cash makes the throw, and you see Teixeira looks at Gomez as he goes by, and again, Gomez not in that box. Soft grounder to Ramirez. He's got the out at third, and he makes it. That's bad base running there by Brendan Harris. Got caught betwixt and between, and Ramirez did a good job and threw to Alex Rodriguez.
Well, you called it, Michael. Ramirez with the right move, get rid of it quickly. Easy out at third. You know, it was similar to the Knobloch play, and when he didn't go get the ball in the Cleveland playoff series. You know, Knobloch was arguing that the runner was running up the grass, didn't go get the ball.
Right. I can remember watching that play from right field, just screaming, "Get the ball!" We'll argue later. Get the ball.
But we see a lot of runners that bust out of the box and they run on the grass.
You could read his lips. He said, second time he almost broke my arm. And the 1-0.
We've seen a lot of guys that bust out, you know, and they maybe have a wild hack and they're trying to get out of the box and they use the grass. They run up the grass. And you can do that halfway up the line, and that's what the painted box for is. You've got to get in that box if there's going to be a close play. And theoretically, umpires can call you out if you're out of that box if you interfere with a play.
2-0 is low.
And you know, the old days, and remember Reggie Jackson leaning into the throw, coming back, leaving the base. I mean, runners will intentionally try to run within the throw, but you know, you're right, Coney. Sometimes as a hitter, you come out of the box and you're actually moving in front of the plate, and by the time you turn and pivot, you're in the grass. But you know, it is your job to straighten it out before you get to the bag.
There's a strike to Denard Span. Now, in the 7th inning, Brett Gardner hit a grand slam, an inside the park home run. I just heard an unbelievable story. He was visiting cancer patients at Morgan Stanley Medical Center, Columbia Presbyterian today, and one of the kids said, "Could you hit a home run for me today?" And he said, "I'm going to try." He said, "But you have to promise me you're going to battle this disease." So now it's now the kid has to return fire. You know, Gardner did his part, so now you have to battle through it. So a nice story. Brett Gardner spent his afternoon today. Yankees got in at 3 in the morning today after Toronto, and for him to go to the hospital and promise that to a kid that he was going to try. I don't know if the kid wanted inside the park, but he'll take it, right?
I tell you what, it's good to hear a good story in baseball. You know, every time you pick up the paper, it's something bad. But, you know, those are the stories you don't hear enough of, and there's still little kids out there that idolize Major League Baseball players, and it's good to hear that.
3-2. I just remember the scene from Seinfeld when you go to Kramer. You did what?
They gave me an error on the second one, didn't they?
You promised what? Why'd you do that? How'd you get in here? So Denard Span today has provided a lot of souvenirs, a lot of late foul balls as he spoils pitches. Punto will go from first on the 3-2, and Span walks. Well, visit the official online shop of the New York Yankees at Yankees.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps, T-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Yankees.com shop. Here's Matt Tolbert, who's 0 for 4 tonight. Grounded right to Teixeira. He will take it to the bag, and a somewhat eventful inning is over. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees need some offense. They're trailing 4-2.
Seventh inning, he got a little side hop there, but it's what you wait for when you see guys like Farmers running the bases. It's as loud as I've heard this stadium all year inside the park home.
Well, the Yankees are trailing 4-2. Jose Mijares, who got the final out of the 7th inning, deals to Cano. And there's a strike. 4-9-0 to 2-6-0. Yankees have 8 walks as well as the 6 hits. They have not gotten a hit with runners in scoring position all night.
You speak Spanish, Michael?
In Poco.
Probably got that SAP button up there, Tony.
One of my biggest regrets is not learning how to speak Spanish. I would have loved to have an in-depth conversation with El Duque, find out what's going on in that mind.
Was that Spanish he spoke? I was trying to figure out what that was. Because Georgie Posada used to look at him like he didn't understand him either.
It's a great skill to have. If you can speak Spanish, bilingual, it's an unbelievable skill to have.
I tried, David. I took 8 years of it. I just couldn't get the hang of it. 4 years in high school, 4 years in college. Brutal. Missed outside, count 2-2. Yankees have 6 more outs to make up at least these 2 runs. It'll be Cano, Cabrera, and Kevin Cash here in the 8th. They want to stay away from the 9th trailing because you got the lights out Joe Nathan out there. And Cano, so much different than last year, really patient. Not expanding the strike zone. He's worked the count full of 3-2. And the pitch. Foul the other way and out of play.
Tell you what, if you're a manager and you've got such a great closer and you've got that middle relief that it's kind of iffy, man, you'd be tempted to day in and day out in these close games, get that guy up in the 8th inning. 5 outs instead of 3. Joe Torre used to do it a ton in the playoffs and the World Series in the important games with Mo. But, you know, throughout the course of the year, you just can't do it day in and day out.
Popped up. Shallow left, Span. 1 out.
Well, that's how Goose Gossage got in the Hall of Fame, right? He gets 7 out saves. I think that was an unbelievable stat he had. You just don't see what he did. You know, that era of relievers in the 70s and the kind of career Goose Gossage had. He'd be in there in the 6th inning.
He wasn't tricking anybody either. He was just flat out throwing the ball by people.
Come in for a 3-inning save.
Here's Melky Cabrera. Melky's 0 for 3 tonight. Thought about bunt. And takes a strike on the outside corner. Count 1-1.
Whitey Ford and Louis Arroyo had that working one year, didn't they? A couple of years, Michael. Back in the day. Arroyo, a lefty kind of screwballer, would come in back when Whitey had his circulation problems in his arm. He could only go 6 innings. They kind of teamed up quite a bit. Got some great pictures of those two here at the stadium. Got some great old photos all over the stadium, up on the suite levels and certainly in some of the concourse areas.
That one's punched into shallow center and through for a base hit. So Melky Cabrera gets on. And that'll bring Kevin Cash up as the tying run.
You know, sometimes you get jammed, but if you have the proper swing and that's not trying to pull that ball, you can muscle that ball right up the middle just enough. He's a solid hitter. I mean, he knows how to hit it. If he stays away from the temptations of trying to hit home runs, you know, he could be a 300. You see that. Those hands ring a little bit, but they feel better when it becomes a base hit.
So Mauer with the conference on the mound, and Gardner feels very comfortable with Mijares because nobody's warming up in the bullpen. Mariano's beginning to stretch just in case.
Do a little salsa in between.
I don't know if he's talking to, if there's anybody within hearing of him, but he's just talking to himself, having a nice old conversation.
He's having a Bernie moment out there.
Kevin Cash pops it up. Tolbert puts it away for the second out. That's going to bring up Jeter. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees play Game 2 against the Twins right here at Yankee Stadium. The coverage starts at noon with batting practice today in the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then David Cohn, Paul O'Neill, and I have the call. It's the Twins against the Yankees. Joby Chamberlain is on the mound for the Yanks tomorrow starting at noon only on Yes, and he will oppose Nick Blackburn for the Twins. So Derek Jeter is 1 for 3, and the home run in the 5th inning goes the other way into the short porch at right. Staying inside on Jeter in the count 0-1. Now Jeter could take the inside pitch the other way. That's what he does. But if you put the pitch on the outside corner, then he can drive it the other way. And that's what Mijares is staying away from. But he can fool you every now and then, Paul, and turn on the inside pitch.
Yeah, he'll guess inside once in a while. But again, I mean, you're looking to try to keep a lead here. I don't think you can throw a fastball out over the plate. I think you have to throw the ball out off the plate and in right there and try to tie him up.
Popped up, shallow center coming on Gomez. He puts it away for the final out of the 8th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We take this baby to the 9th inning. It's a tight one. Twins 4-2 over the Yanks. We go to the 9th inning at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It's 4-2 Twins over the Yankees. And the heart of the order for the Twins coming up, Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel against Edouard Ramirez. Now you might say, well, righty against these lefties. Well, the Yankees don't have any other options, but this is a righty who counteracts lefties because his changeup moves away. So it's almost like having another lefty in the bullpen.
I like coming to the park. Look at a season average, 438. Makes you want to get off the bus and get to the park, doesn't it, Conan?
Got a home run to dead central here. Almost hit it in the Monuments at Yankee Stadium. Monument Park home run. Oh, I guess there's a net over Monument Park to protect the Monuments, and he hit it in that net.
You're taking Babe's head off out there. Listen to this, Michael. This is weird. And you look at this. We talked about how to keep this ball centered in the middle of the field. Get your hands inside it and still drive it out there. The other night, you just have a dream and you wake up.
Right.
I was in this warehouse and I'm throwing and Babe Ruth's hitting. And I'm just talking to him just like you and me, Coney. And I woke up and you know how the dream seems so real. It's like, God, I just met Babe Ruth, man. It took me till about noon to figure out that
you were gooning. You were gooning.
I was gooning. I was really out of it. That was so strange.
What was Babe saying? Do you remember?
He was just hanging out. I was throwing to him. He was taking a little BP. It's great. I don't know.
And Mauer walks. Time now to take a look at the Land Rover drive of the game. Which one is it?
Well, the Land Rover drive of the game is, it's Justin Morneau. That's his second one of the night. Cutter that didn't cut up in the second deck in the 5th inning. Justin Morneau, 2 home runs. The second one is the Land Rover drive of the game.
You talk about Yankee Stadium, how the ball's been carrying. I mean, there's been some no-doubters tonight. These guys are good hitters, the guys that have been hitting. Morneau, Mauer, I mean, they've got power. And it's funny to have 2, kind of franchise players, both from the left side of the plate, but they handle lefties so well, and it's a pleasure to watch guys that out in BP take batting practice like that and then take it right into the game. Just superstar hitters.
Now, David just told you about the drive of the game, which went into the second deck. And Johnny Damon's hit a lot there. And I asked him in Baltimore last week, and I said, is the upper deck reachable here? And he said, absolutely. He said, I guarantee somebody will hit in the upper deck. Because it's so reset from the old place where the upper deck kind of hung over. And now it's a real long drive. But he thinks it could be reached. Morneau, a 2 home run game, last one. Then he had 3 home runs, was in 07 in July. There's that upper deck. There's a strike.
I was talking to Burt Blyleven, the great, who I think is a Hall of Fame pitcher who covers the Twins, for television. He said he saw Morneau hit him in the upper deck in BP today.
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, before it'll happen in BP, before people start to believe it. See Blyleven, one of the better curveballs that I ever saw. I faced it in spring training a few times.
Well, Ken Singleton's got a great line about Burt Blyleven, and he got 62% of the vote his last time. I think he's got 2 or 3 more years. He said if Burt Blyleven doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, his curveball does. Certainly. Anytime you see a young pitcher nowadays with a good curveball, that's the guy you compare him to.
Nasty.
That guy, in my mind, is a Hall of Famer.
And Morneau swings and misses. So Edouard Ramirez gets him on a strikeout.
See him throws the first pitch changeup off the plate. Fastball away, gets the call. Running off the plate, 2-1. Gets the call there. Fastball up and away. Comes back with the changeup. Gets it down and in over the plate. And looks like a fastball. That's probably his signature pitch, obviously. Edouard's got a good one. Edouard had a little injury in spring training, a little bit of a slow start this year. Last year, he really established himself and had a string of unbelievable pitching throughout the summer last year. Showed up in spring training a little lame. You kind of get the sense he hadn't really gotten it going. He's not quite back to full strength. Certainly was a good changeup there to a good hitter.
And there's a good fastball.
That fastball had a little pop to it. And if you're a hitter right here and you think, man, he just threw his fastball by, and I know he's got a great changeup, now you're really in between both.
curious, Paul, the Babe Ruth dream, what time did you wake up?
It was in the morning.
And it took you till noon to realize that it was a
just
dream.
so real. You know, it's just kind of, I know, why are we talking about this? But it was real. I was throwing BP with Babe. It was so great. I mean, I was looking at him, and I'm thinking, this is Babe Ruth, man. And then the warehouse thing is the thing I haven't figured out.
Swing and a miss is Kubel down on strikes. There are psychiatrists all over New York wondering what's going on. They're analyzing this.
Hey, it could be worse. I could have been like throwing BP to you or something.
That would be worse.
Where's Fraser Crane? Maybe he's in the house tonight, too.
Well, they get through the lefties, so Joe Girardi now is going to go to the bullpen, bring in a right-hander for Michael Kadire. He's trying to keep it right here at 4-2, give his offense a chance in the bottom of the ninth inning. It's going to be Jose Barris. Barris against Kadire. When we return, the Twins lead the Yankees 4-2 right here on Yes. Nancy Newman brings you all the highlights from this game and around the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones talks to the team in the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. There's Jose Barris. 15 and a third. 12 hits, the 10 walks, obviously way too many. He's got dynamic stuff. Sometimes he has a hard time commanding it. 7.04 ERA. So the Yankees have used 6 pitchers. Phil Hughes won 5. Then Alba Ladejo, Koch, Tomko, Ramirez, and Barris. And keeping Maurer close. There's a strike. And the 0-1. Tied him up and he fouls it back. Count 0-2. Well, if you want to look ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, and why wouldn't you? You've got Gardner, Teixeira, and A-Rod. If anybody gets on, Hideki Matsui.
And you got Mr. Joe Nathan waiting in the bullpen for Minnesota to come in this game. He is an outstanding closer.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball breaking down and away, so the Yankee pitchers strike out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? We go to the bottom of the ninth to find out.
Well, it's not a big shock. In the second inning, hit his 10th home runner in the game. In the 5th inning, he hit another one that was an absolute bomb, which is 11th of the year. Justin Morneau, one of the key players in the Twins' upcoming years.
And he's at first base for this bottom of the 9th inning, and they bring in their closer. That's what you do. You take a lead, 3 runs or less, you're bringing your closer, and Joe Nathan's one of the more reliable closers in baseball. He's going to try to get the final 3 outs.
See Nathan's numbers on the year, once again, just very consistent. 14 games, 1.29 ERA. 14 innings, only 8 hits, 3 walks.
Nathan signed a big contract extension. Then he donated $500,000 to SUNY Stony Brook to support the construction of the new baseball field. That's where he went, and the field was named Joe Nathan Field. So a nice move by him. He signed a 4-year, $47 million extension with the Twins in March of '08. This is the 4th day in a row that Nathan has pitched. So let's see if, in fact, he has the same stuff. He's 1-0. On Gardner.
Yeah, they just came off a big series at home against Detroit. Yesterday they came back from a 5-0 deficit and ended up winning 6-5. So they played some close games, and that's why he's been in.
Twins are 5-1 on 1-run games this year. Yankees are 4-8 in series openers this year, and 2-3 at home. There's a strike, 2-1. Gardner's trying to scratch his way on any way he can. The Twins are guarding against any kind of bunt. Brendan Harris is on the grass at 3rd. And Morneau is about even with the bag at 1st. There's a strike. Nathan has 7 consecutive scoreless innings. Line drive, foul. It's really, if you think about it, one of the better deals in baseball history. It's got to be in the top 20. November 2003, the Twins sent A.J. Przinsky to the Giants for Joe Nathan, Boof Bonser, who's been a pretty decent pitcher for the Twins, and Francisco Liriano. That's a great trade, because making it even better is A.J. Przinsky didn't work out with the Giants. They traded him after 1 year.
Well, Liriano was originally an outfielder, though, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he was. Well, yeah, and they converted. The Giants converted him to a pitcher when they signed him.
So now the count 3-2 on Gardner here in the bottom of the 9th, leading off. Nathan deals. And that one is slapped into right center field. That is going to be a base hit. In the gap. Gomez cannot cut it off. Gardner's going to go to 3rd, and he'll make it with a triple. Gardner is so fast that he fell down. Now the Twins think that he missed first base. Joe Nathan wants the ball. He's going to step on first base. Gardner did trip around the bag and still made a triple, so he has a single, a triple, and a home run.
You know what? If he's busting around the whole time, he doesn't fall. He might have back-to-back inside the Parker.
Let's follow. Let's see if he did touch the bag. Oh, he made it. He fell over the bag. He slid off the bag.
That's what you call a handicap, huh, Paulie? You're going to go ahead and fall down and still get a stand-up triple.
So now Nathan will step off and throw to first. Safe. He did touch the bag, so Marty Foster was right there. Now it gets dramatic as you have Teixeira and A-Rod, and take one more look. It's a rubberized bag, and he just slipped. Lucky he didn't break his ankle. Went down, got up, and still got the 3rd. So here's Mark Teixeira. On deck is Alex Rodriguez. Yankees have their chance. They have the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning. Nathan will go from the full windup. And there's a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Gardner scores. Teixeira picks up an RBI single, and the Yankees have closed to within 1.
Again, Teixeira has come up in some big situations, and sometimes these situations get you away from you, kind of the funk you are. He got a fastball pretty much dead center right down the middle, just out of the reach. Tolbert at second base.
And now the plot thickens. Mark Teixeira gets a big hit. Alex Rodriguez in his first game in the new Yankee Stadium, missing 28 games because of hip surgery, returning on the road, hitting a home run on his first swing. So far tonight, 0 for 1 with 3 walks. The one time he made an out, bases loaded. With 1 out, he struck out. A big opportunity for Alex Rodriguez in his first game in the new house. Nathan deals. Low, 1-0. He's had 7 career walk-off home runs, 4 with the Yankees. Last time he did it against Joe Borowski of the Indians in that great 07 season that he had. A-Rod against Nathan is 4 for 9 with 1 double. Outfielders are very, very deep. Brendan Harris close to the line at third and also deep. The 1-0. 2-0. The Yankees have 17 wins this year. 11 of them come from behind victories. And the 2-0. He gets a call on the inside corner. A-Rod, you can see he's not pleased with that call.
Well, Joe Nathan's got good movement on a 2-0 fastball, Paulie. He comes in. There's a lot of movement on that glove, and Wally Bell gives him the call right there.
Way inside. That ball right there, I mean, that changes the whole at bat. I mean, you're 2-1, you're back into count instead of 3-0.
And the 2-1. And another strike and another look back by Alex.
Well, he's almost a carbon copy, really. I mean, that one with a little less movement of the glove. But Nathan is an excellent pitcher. He's got big movement on his sinker, but those are 2 straight pitches that ran in off the plate.
And they look like they hit the batter's box white rather than the plate white. So now it's 2-2 rather than ball 4. And the pitch. A-Rod's worked the count full. Now Joe Girardi has a decision to make. Alex Rodriguez has a propensity to strike out. He'd like to stay out of the double play. You guys manage. Do you send Teixeira, Paul?
Absolutely not.
David?
No, I think he keeps Teixeira there. You know, you certainly do not want to. You just don't want to run yourself out of an inning right here. I think more importantly, if you're A-Rod here, they've been pounding you in. Wally Bell's giving him the call. I mean, Paul, you got to look in here, don't you?
I tell you, with 2 strikes, he's almost taking the bat out of your hand. Your zone is so big right now. You just hope to get something good to hit. And right there, that ball is so far away to you now because of the pitches he's called inside, and that's what makes it tough.
We'll see a little cut action of that pitch. Looked like Maurer was setting up inside. He wanted it in and had to reach across to the outside corner. Right. Nice job by A-Rod to spoil it.
Front hip come out there early, kind of looking in, and he did. He spoiled a good pitch away.
Another payoff pitch. Teixeira leads off first. He just singled in the Yankees' 3rd run. They trail 4-3. Bottom of the 9th. The 3-2. He walked him. The 4th walk for A-Rod, and that moves the tying run to second.
Well, Well, 2 straight sliders by Nathan after pounding A-Rod in and getting some calls in off the plate. And we'll take a look at the sequence right here. First pitch slider down. Fastball in. Wally Bell doesn't call it a strike. Same pitch, calls it a strike. Same pitch, calls it a strike again. Down and in, misses. Slider away, spoiled by A-Rod. Another slider, A-Rod spits on it.
That whole at bat was by that foul ball on that good slider off the plate. And, it got... I think Wally Bell kept him in the count, and A-Rod battled, fouled off a good pitch, and ended up throwing a walk.
Now, Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, comes out and talks with Nathan. Remember, we remind you, 4 days in a row. A lot of managers don't like to use their closers 4 days in a row. Usually it's 3 and an off day, but they use them for the 4th straight day. Now, Hideki Matsui came up last night. This was in the 8th inning, tie game, and he was the hero as he provided the go-ahead home run. Now, the Yankees don't need something that dramatic. They'll take a single right here to tie the score and move on from there. Matsui against Nathan, 2 for 4. Tonight he's 0 for 3. The Yankees in the 9th inning showing a little life. Teixeira's at second. Alex Rodriguez is at first. Nathan deals. Strike.
That's what's made Nathan so effective as a closer, is that hard sinking fastball. It's very hard to hit the ball in the air off of this guy. Rarely does he give up big home runs late in the game. He pounds that hard, heavy sinker down in the strike zone.
First game of a 4-game set. First game of a 10-game homestand. And the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Now, over his previous 3 outings, Nathan has thrown just 34 pitches, so he's at 17 right now. Didn't exactly wear himself out over 3 outings, and that's why they use him the 4th straight day. Count 1-1 on Matsui. And the pitch. A little late on that, fouled it away.
A good pitch by Nathan right there in on the fist of Matsui after 2 straight sinkers down and away. See him four-seam it. See how true that stays up, even though it kind of drifted in or third. Matsui's got a guard away. He clearly gets beat on a four-seamer in there.
Yankees have never led in this game. Looking to pull at least even. And the 1-2. Just missed outside the count, 2-2.
It's like Nathan is able to get ahead in the count now, but he doesn't have that strikeout pitch that he usually has.
Got a hard slider generally as his put-out pitch, but dangerous pitch to Matsui here with the short porch at right field at Yankee Stadium. If he leaves it on the plate, Matsui might just launch one in the seats.
You can't use it in off the plate 2-2. I mean, that the count, it was 1-2 was your opportunity. Now you've almost put yourself into the fastball mode. If you're going to try to use that slider and get a strikeout in off the plate, you got to use it when you're ahead in the count, not 2-2.
Comes inside with another four-seamer. You see that stays true. Up, great pitch above the belt on the inside corner. Matsui actually does a good job of just fighting that pitch off. He's way late on it. Combination of heavy sinking fastballs away and four-seamers into lefties. See if he goes back down and away with the sinker, or as you said, Paul, he takes a shot with that slider down.
And the 2-2. He strikes him out. So Matsui, the first out of the inning for Nathan.
Well, we got our answer, and we'll go pitch by pitch here. Sinker running down and away, gets the call. Off the plate with another sinker. Four-seamer in, beats him. Back away with the sinker. Four-seamer in, beats him again. There's the slider, and I'll tell you what, that's where he had to throw it, down in the dirt. You don't want to leave it on the plate. Good finish pitch. Matsui reads fastball. way out in front.
I'll tell you, Mauer's done a good job back there and intentionally throwing some balls in the dirt in big situations, just knowing that he can block it. And Tony, I'm sure you know as a pitcher that you don't hesitate to throw that ball down the dirt when you trust your catcher.
Here's Nick Swisher. Nick's 1 for 3. Nathan deals. Grounded. Oh, what a play by Morneau. And they get the out at first. That saved the lead. That goes into right field. Teixeira scores. 2 away as the runners move up.
And you talk about it. I mean, this is how this team wins. I mean, a couple good plays and defensively and offensively do everything right. They'll battle you for 9 innings, and when you show up to the game to play these guys, you know you're going to have to beat them. They're not going to give it to you. Great play by Morneau.
Swisher cannot believe it. And now that leaves it up to Robinson Cano. Pinch runner for Alex Rodriguez. Ramiro Pena takes over at second. Yankees want to know that they can win the game on a single. Now the outfield moves in and they're going to intentionally walk Robinson Cano, and they'll put the game in the hands of Melky Cabrera. Now when you do this, David, as you know, they have the utmost confidence and trust that Nathan throws strikes.
Well, he's a veteran guy. He's a proven closer. He's got excellent control. As you said, Michael, it shows a lot of confidence. It does put a lot of pressure on the pitcher, but Joe Nathan's the type of guy that can handle it, and he's proved it.
Coney, did you like a shot here at trying to pitch around the guy, or do you just like to go ahead and walk him into this?
I always like the shot to see if you can get somebody to chase. Robinson Cano has shown that if you can jump ahead of him, you might be able to expand the zone and get him to chase. Now, you've got to have an awful lot of confidence in a veteran pitcher to allow him to do that. But I would have personally liked a shot to maybe get ahead of him and see if you can expand the zone and chase.
Well, intentional walk to Cano, and that's going to pass the baton to Melky. Melky's had a walk-off moment this year, back on April 22nd against Oakland. Cabrera at the plate, and he goes yard. Ends the game with 1 swing. He does not need something as dramatic as a home run right here. So it comes down to Nathan against Cabrera. The Yankees are trailing 4-3. As you can see, the bases are loaded. Melky tonight is 1 for 4. A crowd of 43,856. Most of them standing. And the pitch. That one's looped into left field. That is going to be a base hit. And the Yankees win the game. 2-run score. It is a walk-off 2-run single for Melky Cabrera. And the Yankees have come all the way back. And they win this one 5-4. They issue the challenge to Melky, and Paul, there's probably no better feeling. They want you to beat them, and he beats them.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the on-deck circle watching that intentional walk, and you're telling yourself they're doing this because they think they can get me out. It is a personal challenge. It's a fun time to be Melky Cabrera right here. Game-winning hit in front of a live crowd here at Yankee Stadium tonight.
So Melky gets a pitch on the outer third of the plate. Doesn't try to do too much with it, just serves it in the left field, and he knows it right away.
Well, the Yankees' 2 young center fielders had a lot to do with this win. Brett Gardner with the inside to Parker, and Melky Cabrera with the walk-off 2-run single. Nathan cannot believe it. He blows the save, and the Yankees win the first game of this series 5-4. Melky's not one to get down. Two speedy outfielders. Gomez can't get it. Span can't get it. And the Yankees get a win. Check out the dugout. They know what's going on. And the celebration begins in the Bronx. Ramiro Pena scores, and the Yankees win 5-4. That is a happy bunch of Yankees as they start off this homestand with a 5-4 victory. And let's get it down to Kim Jones, and she is with Melky Cabrerra, who has just been gouged by his teammates. Kim, take it away.
A.J. Burnett with his first pie of the season. My goodness, that pie is everywhere. Melky, how you feeling?
Dile que me siento muy bien y gracias a Dios que el manager me ha dado la oportunidad de jugar todos los días y la he aprovechado.
So I feel good and thanks God that the manager gave me the opportunity to play every day now and I'm helping the team.
What was it like when the crowd was chanting your name before that at bat?
¿Cómo te sentías cuando el equipo estaba llamando tu nombre ahí al bate?
Dile que me sentí muy bien cuando me llamaron y nada más pensé en colocar la bola en hit.
So I feel really good when they were cheering my name and I was trying to hit a ball to a base hit.
And how'd you do it? How'd you hit that ball? Joe Nathan's a tough closer.
¿Cómo tú le pegaste esa bola? Que Nathan es un buen cerrador.
Nada más estaba buscando un picheo bueno para colocarla.
I was looking for a good pitch to hit and I got it.
2 times already this season. This has got to be, you love the walk-off spot.
Esta es la segunda vez.
Muy bien y que gracias a Dios me ha salido bien la cosa.
So I've been feeling good. Thanks God everything's going well with me right now.
And right now you need a shower. Thanks, guys. Michael.
Well, thanks a lot, Kim. Obviously a big win for the Yankees, a big come-from-behind victory, and a pie in the face by A.J. Burnett. But Melky will take that every single time. They issued a challenge, the Twins did, and Melky answered with a big walk-off 2-run single. So the Yankees score in the 9th inning, 3 in the 9th inning, and they win this one 5-4. We'll be back.